It's time to hack the movies. Today, we're talking about tapes.
Buongiorno.
Tony.
Mamma mia. We're getting real Italian today. Hello, Johanna.
Hello, Tony.
Hello, Trisha.
Buongiorno, Tony.
That's so much better.
That sounds a lot better. Sounds a lot better.
Hey, wait a minute. What happened to your nose?
Oh, you'll never believe it. I was running in the woods.
Sorry, you running?
To find porn.
to get rid of the woods. That's a callback to the Blair Witch episode. And I was running and lifting weights at the same time, get my exercise in, as I often do. And just a cannibal came out and tried to bite my nose off.
Oh my God.
But I did karate on him. I know karate, by the way, and I was able to beat him up, but he got one little bite in on my nose.
You didn't pull your Rocky moves?
I did, but he surprised me. So he got the one in, and I was like, boom, bang.
Bada boom.
Oh God, I can't do this episode, guys. I'm leaving.
Look what you've done. Look what you've done.
So because I was using my Rocky moves, which are very Italian, and I was fighting a cannibal, it reminded me we need to review the sequel to Silence of the Lambs, Hannibal. And that's what we're doing today. Yes, Hannibal. For those of you who don't know, we've reviewed Silence of the Lambs. Go back to that episode. That's where I found out that, well, maybe we have a new person here. Was Silence of the Lambs like a big family movie in your house? Like you watched it as a kid with your mom and whatnot, like when you were 7, whatnot?
Not really.
Okay, so still just me. I called my mom during that episode to let her know that other families weren't doing that.
You were doing that with your family at 7 years old?
Yeah, I was real into, we used to watch it all the time.
Oh my
And
God.
when this movie was coming out, so this is 2001, I was 10, 11, and I was real excited for this movie. And then Red Dragon came out the year later, and I was super into it. Everyone was all excited for X-Men and Spider-Man, and I was too, but I was more into Hannibal. I was very, very excited for it.
I don't even remember when this came out, honestly. I know it was 2001, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't remember this movie.
But yeah, not a lot of people were excited for this one. Oh, also, we are going to do Red Dragon, and we will do Manhunter, the first one, technically.
Ugh.
But if you want to see a movie that kind of steals stuff from that book, go to Patreon and watch our review of Opera. Yeah, the end of Opera. Oh, do you even forget you did that review with me?
Forgot.
So Manhunter doesn't use the ending from the book, but this Italian movie that me and Trisha reviewed.
Right. Okay.
I guess they saw Manhunter and they're like, what the fuck? Where's the book ending? So that movie just stole the ending of the Red Dragon book and just put it into their movie.
Sure.
So anyway, this is based off the novel, which I've read. This is one of those in the book episodes. I've had a lot of great revenge this year because I've read way more books, and for years I've had to listen to this woman just be like, well, in the book, Harry Potter did a polar bear spell, and that's how he beat Snorkel's block.
And now that's you.
And now it's me. Now I get to do it.
You know what? I might have some revenge right now. Did you have this marker in here to mark where you were?
Oh, shit.
Did you move it?
I picked it up, not realizing that the marker was just going to fall out, so you lost your place. I opened it up and I kind of assumed it was in one spot that was still open, but...
Well, that was going to be important to the end of the episode.
Yeah,
so thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Great job.
You're welcome.
Great job.
So yes, you're being snooty.
So yes, Hannibal, written by Thomas Harris. He took a while to write a sequel.
Also, why don't you have a real bookmarker? Just bend the page. It's an old book. What do you need a marker?
What? Can I just get into the episode?
It's your fault, Tony. You're lucky that she told you, though. That was nice of her.
So, yes, he wrote the book. It came out in 1999, and everyone who read it went, what? What was that? How the fuck are they going to make a movie out of that? And a few people had that same thought, including Jodie Foster, who read the book, and I assume she got to the ending and went, no, no,
That's a hard nope.
That's a hard... And if only she knew that the movie was not going to use that ending, maybe.
Yeah.
Her official reason for turning it down was a scheduling conflict, but I think that was like
like she got like some actress that could be
but I think
Claire Danes, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, but I think that was a happy coincidence. I don't think she wanted to do the movie, and then she did the whole like, oh, I can't. Oh, yeah, I gotta do this other movie.
Too gory. No thanks.
Someone who was excited to do the movie was everyone's favorite actor, Gary Oldman. What is okay? So
I can't explain it. I don't know.
Last night, Trisha messaged me that she hates Gary Oldman. And I'm like, in this movie? And it's like, no, just in general. He's like one of the most celebrated actors of all time.
I don't know. It's kind of like that whole thing with like Anne Hathaway. Like, you know how I just despise her for no reason at all.
Okay, I just want to point out, you now hate two people that co-starred with me in The Dark Knight Rises.
What are the chances,
Let's
Tony?
see. What are your thoughts on Christian Bale?
Tom Hardy.
I don't like him either, but I'm not
Actually, I don't like Christian Bale
Tom
either.
Hardy, I don't know. He's fine. Well,
Okay,
Christian
so Tom
Bale's
Hardy.
like an asshole.
So
it's fine.
do you like me? I'm also in that movie.
Let me get back to you on that.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. So far, Trisha, out of all the people who are in Dark Knight Rises, she likes Tom Hardy.
Kinda.
Maybe she's okay with me, and she doesn't like Christian Bale, Anne Hathaway, or Gary Oldman.
Right, but I hate Anne Hathaway and Gary Oldman. No, I'm sorry if you guys are watching.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
No, he's great.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that's 2 likes and 1 if.
Who's the girl who plays Anne Hathaway's like little sidekick?
Who the fuck knows? She's barely in the movie.
But like she's like a person. Like
she's a person.
So Gary Oldman just does it. You see Gary Oldman in the movie, and you're like, nah.
No, I don't know. Especially in this movie. Oh my god.
Well, yeah, this movie, he's playing a more toned down version of an awful human being.
I just was really completely ruined by him when Tiptoes came out. I don't know. When I saw Tiptoes, I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
You knocked up this great girl and you didn't tell her that her baby's probably gonna be little. I'm not like you.
And in the role of a lifetime, Gary Oldman.
I really want to review Tiptoes, but that's one of those like, we need a little person in this episode if we're going to review Tiptoes. I want a member of that community to represent them.
Right.
get Peter Dinklage.
Oh, did you see Hornswoggle shitting on him? I never thought Hornswoggle would be on Tucker Carlson yelling at Peter Dinklage. I'm like, this is a weird world we're living in right now. Anyway, and by the way, she's texting this to me. She hates Gary Oldman. Meanwhile, I have a life-size mannequin of Gary Oldman Dracula in my basement right now, just propped up, and I'm
Which
like,
is super creepy. It looks like a real person. Like when you walk down there and it's like dark.
yeah, it's cool.
It's terrible.
I've always wanted a life-size mannequin of Gary. Look, I paid a lot of money for that Dracula mask, so I need to put it on display. So Jonathan Demme, director of Silence of the Lambs, he was one of the many people who read the book and went, nah. He thought it was absurd. Apparently, he declined. The writer of they couldn't fucking get anyone back except for Anthony Hopkins and the guy who played Barney.
Yeah,
that's like the only people they could get back. They managed to get the mask back. They got the mask, that back. Yeah. So the writer also hated the book. They got a guy called David Mamet who wrote The Untouchables and Hoffa. He wrote the script and apparently it was terrible. So they got Steve Zalian who wrote Schindler's List. The movie based off that historic thing that definitely did happen. A lot of
looking at you, Whoopi Goldberg.
Yeah, a lot of celebrities are getting in a lot of trouble. So to ensure,
she didn't say it didn't exist, but what she said was fucked up.
Terrible.
Well, we can all agree it definitely happened.
And it was a race thing,
right?
Yes.
Okay.
100%.
Wasn't sure on you.
Get the hell.
Anyway, so he rewrote it.
Marker. There you go.
He rewrote it. They got Ridley Scott. Fresh off of Gladiator.
He was in he was filming Gladiator.
Yes.
And
you heard the story. Tell it, yeah.
Well, no, I don't know the story.
Oh.
Actually, continue. Sorry.
Oh, no, I thought you were going
I was going to, but it's after. Fucking everything up.
So we got a call from Dino De Laurentiis saying, hey, do you want to film Hannibal? And he thought it was about the, the Carthaginian general who weaponized elephants.
Which makes sense.
Yes. And he's just like, I just did a bunch of, I don't want to do that. And he's like, no, the fucking cannibal. He's like, oh, okay, I'll do that.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Well,
yeah, the script was pitched to Scott by Dino De Laurentiis, which is the grandfather of Giada De Laurentiis, which Honestly, if you know Giada, right? She's like super famous Italian lady who cooks, and she has like the most horrible Italian accent in the world, and I hate it. And I forget.
I hate people with such a bad Italiano accent.
Me too.
Mamma mia, pasta visual.
I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
But like her grandparents, her parents are obviously Italian, but like the way that she speaks Italian is horrible. So someone commented on one of my TikTok videos like, oh, we should have Giada comment and see how she pronounces this word. And I was like, fuck no. And I blocked the person. It's like, are you dumb? Sorry.
Trisha, was that a bafangul from you?
Oh my God.
That was a fanculo.
For all of you who watch Kieran's Twitch streams, anytime he steals our word, please call him out on it because he's been using our word a lot lately.
Exactly. That's like this whole thing with like the video, like the Italian videos that they're doing now with like this hand symbol.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dun, 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 dun. I'm just like, no. Anyway, got off track. But De Laurentiis and Carlo Ponti, who was the husband of Sophia Loren, super famous actress.
Yes, I know her, yes.
Was one of the producers who actually brought Italian cinema to the international spectrum. So he's like super
We've talked about De Laurentiis. I'm not doing it with the accent, sorry. We talked about him before. Like he's
Call yourself an Italian.
he's one of the respected big Italian producers who didn't. I mean, sure, he produced King Kong Lives, but he's like usually Italian producers is like, oh God, what do they got? But he was like the more respected one in America. Like you see his name on something, you're like, okay, it might be good. Might suck, but it might be good.
Yeah. I don't like this movie though. So. Just how it is.
Well, yeah, he was excited to do it because he kind of like outsourced Silence of the Lambs after Manhunter failed, and then that did well. He's like, well, fuck, I got to be more involved in this next one. So yes, I'm gonna do a lot of in the book in this.
You go right ahead.
But here's some stuff that was just straight up left out. Ardelia Mapp, Clarice's roommate from college, just completely left out of the movie. In the book, she's like living with her in a house and everything. And Ardelia's like nice and organized, and Clarice is just a shit show. They just cut her right the fuck out. No, not even one mention of her. This is the big one. Mason Verger's muscle-bound lesbian sister, and the whole trying to get a male hair subplot is omitted. That's the whole thing. So she can't get her family's money.
Male hair?
Air. I pronounced the H. My bad. So only
I can't.
Only for some reason
they're and get your man hair.
For some reason the patriarch of her family is very sexist, so the fortune only gets passed down to a son.
It's an old Italian guy, like
I don't think Mason Verger's Italian.
No?
I don't know. But so her whole mission is that she wants her horrible
No, he's
brother.
American because they had the meat packing stuff since the Civil War. So no, you're right.
So she wants to get impregnated by her brother.
Civil War, then he's probably racist.
So she can have a male son who then she can inherit all the money.
This was in the book.
Yes. Oh, okay. And that's why she wants to kill Mason, because Mason's like sexually abused her and he's awful.
Literally assaulted her.
Literally assaulted her and many people. But she's keeping him alive because she needs his man juice so she can have a weird incest baby so she can inherit all that money and live happily with her lesbian lover.
Did you mention the children's stuff?
Oh, I go into that. Don't worry.
Okay.
But because she was cut out, Barney is super heavily reduced because he like hangs out at the Mason Verger estate. And he has this whole like him and Margot are just in the gym like working out and shit. And that's all cut out. He's only got like 2 scenes. Jack Crawford is completely cut.
Yep.
There's a deleted scene that even says, yeah, Jack Crawford's dead. I'm okay with this because the book, he's just kind of like, hey guys, I'm still around. Right. I was big in the last 2 books. Remember me? And they're like, yeah, that's great, Jack. And I think he just dies at one point. And they're like, oh, Jack Crawford died.
He died in the Atlantic Ocean with Rose. That's what Jack was.
Different Jack.
I always have to make a Titanic reference.
And then all of Hannibal Lecter's flashbacks to World War II of his family getting invaded by the Nazis were completely cut out. Don't worry, they made a movie about it. You can see it. It's terrible. Yeah, and then there's 2 other scenes that are faithful to the book but break continuity of the previous movie. I'll get to that. And then everything else I want to talk about is related to the ending because it's fucking bonkers.
I feel like they should have just cut everything out of this movie.
Just not even made it.
Exactly.
I honestly, people theorize that like he was writing this book just to see, like
How far you
they're
can
like,
get.
hey, you know what? I bet they'll never put this in a movie.
And it's correct.
Yeah, it got to the point where people always say this movie's gross, it's disgusting, and it's just like, oh, you got the tame version. The TV show uses some of the stuff that was
It
left
does.
out.
Oh my god, the TV show's so good.
Yeah.
So, like, look, I get that it's definitely gorier than Silence of the Lambs, but like a lot of the shit that was happening in Silence of the Lambs, yeah, they weren't showing it, but like that was fucked up. So why is this? Oh no, we see it now. Oh, the cannibals killing people. Oh god.
This one's more played for like fun. I think that's where the issue is. Oh, and I forgot. At some point, Clarice meets another girl who ran into Biggs, and they both had the same encounter. That's the guy who jerked off onto Clarice in the previous film. Anyway, the movie opens with Barney at Mason Verger's estate, and we meet his assistant, Cordell. Who is that fucking guy? That guy's in True Blood, isn't he? Cordell?
He is?
I don't know.
He looks
I'd have to look at him again.
Yeah.
I definitely was looking at him like, I know you from something.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
Wait, I don't remember. I love True Blood.
True Blood was good. Oh, God.
What?
They're coming out with a podcast.
I watched the fucking finale with Trisha.
Oh, that's right. We did watch it together.
Spoiler. When Bill died, she like jumped at the TV screen to like hug it and scream no.
Oh, I hated Bill.
She was like, no! I'm like,
honestly, looking back, I don't know why I was so in love with Bill, because Eric is obviously the better choice and so much better.
But also like the actor's a really good person, and also he's really with Anna Paquin in real life, and they're very cute together.
That's true.
Yes.
That is true.
So Gary Oldman, we get to see Gary Oldman as Mason Verger.
Gary
I forgot to
Oldman.
mention, we went into whole Trisha hates Gary Oldman. He was completely uncredited in this.
There was something where
maybe
he wanted to be credited with Anthony Hopkins and Julianne Moore.
And they said no?
They said no. And then I don't know what happened, but then they were like talking about other stuff, and then they realized like, oh, well, with all the makeup and everything, put me uncredited, and then later.
Because it's a surprise. You're like, oh shit, it's Gary Oldman. Where people like me were like, awesome. And then people like Trisha were like, oh, no.
Fuck, why?
Oh, we forgot. Yeah, so
Terrible
Julianne
surprise.
Moore is in this. Should have been Gillian Anderson from the X-Files.
Oh, I agree.
She wasn't allowed to.
Why?
I believe her contract, she wasn't allowed to play an FBI agent in something else because she was still doing X-Files.
Oh, no way.
And that's kind of like, I mentioned it.
Interesting.
I mentioned it somewhere before. Like they do this with James Bond. Pierce Brosnan, he wasn't allowed to wear a tuxedo in any other movie while he was playing James Bond.
What the hell kind of rules are those?
I mean, if you're James Bond, because they don't want, because this happened a lot, they don't want someone else making a cheap, they want, like, they don't want to put him in a tuxedo in a movie that has nothing to do with spies to trick people.
He could do another movie and just have like one of those T-shirts that look like a tuxedo T-shirt.
I wonder if that was like, he's like, you said nothing about tuxedo T-shirts. Sorry.
Exactly.
Jessica, please Photoshop Pierce Brosnan in a tuxedo T-shirt. Gillian Anderson does make it into the Hannibal TV show, though. So she showed up eventually.
Nice.
She's so hot.
Yeah, I like her.
I like her too. Yeah, so he is selling.
Well, like her. You know what I mean?
I really like the X-Files. So.
Yes, me too. Oh, love it. Sorry, I got really excited.
Literally never heard you mention the X-Files, but okay. Barney is selling him the famous Hannibal Lecter mask. Because it's very apparently in this universe, everything tied to Hannibal is super valuable, including the mask he wore one afternoon. Not even like, it wasn't even like his mask.
I guess, I mean, thinking about how weird people are with like serial killers and stuff.
Yeah.
And there are like museums that like have these people's things, and it's like, here's Ted Bundy's car.
Yeah.
Like the bug and stuff, whatever. Maybe that was just like a thing.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. But yeah.
And he's also still not caught. Like it's not even like, oh, he's on death row or something. It's like, oh shit, he's still out there.
We find out why Mason really is into Hannibal. He's got a personal vendetta. But yeah, he pays Barney like what, $50,000 for the mask?
Something like that.
250,000.
But yeah, they put that in there because it's like, we got to let people know they're in the right movie.
Was it 500,000?
No, I think it was 50,000.
Was it? Okay, I don't know.
500,000? That's too much.
I don't
for a
know. They
mask.
mentioned something about 500,000. I was
no,
like,
that's
half
later. That's
asleep
later in
by
the
like
movie. That's
5
later in the
minutes into
movie. We get some really cool opening titles with security cameras, which I believe are in Rome. It's hard to tell. It's so shoppy. I think I saw the Colosseum.
I think it was in Rome because I did have that in my notes, but I didn't add it. But yeah, I think it was the
That
original
makes sense
scene.
because then he goes into Florence too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it would be like
I do like
Yeah.
I do like that the pigeons make his face for a second. I thought that was really fucking cool. When I was a kid, I'm like, that's awesome. I'm 11 and shouldn't be watching this movie.
Exactly.
So, Clarice, the FBI, the DEA, and the local police are trying to bust some drug lords at a local fish market in DC. The local police are assholes.
Yeah.
I love that they're only there because the mayor got busted for cocaine, so he has to like appear tough on drugs. So
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, go with them. I that way I can take all the credit for it. Yeah. So Clarice doesn't feel good about this drug bust
Yeah.
because there's too many people around. The lady has a baby, and she wants to call it off, but the local police fuck it up, and it turns into a bloody shootout. You know what would have made this scene better? If the Macarena was playing in the background.
Why?
Because in the book, the Macarena is playing in the background, and it's called back to many, many times.
No way.
The day I read that, I literally took the scene and added the song to it, and I can't post it anywhere because like Universal flags it for the video, and then whoever owns the Macarena
music.
like flags it
Oh,
for the
God.
audio. So like,
That's horrible.
so if
though.
you're at home and you have editing software, add the Macarena
or
to the
just
background.
watch the movie while listening to the Macarena.
They make a point. They're like, and this is 1999. Like the song was not popular anymore. So it's like, da 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 Macarena. While everyone's just like shooting everyone.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, that's the thing that happens. So
Can I just add that Clarice, I don't know why I said it with that.
Clarice.
Clarice.
the best thing with Trisha is she goes in and out of the accent. And like, it's like she has personalities. It's like,
It's true because sometimes
relate.
like, it's true. Oh God, I'm dying.
you would be like awful as like a secret agent or like a spy. It's like,
Just like, well, this actually goes along with the point because then I like change
Okay.
accents, right? Because Clarice changes her fucking accent throughout the movie.
She does.
Did you
Yeah.
notice
It's really
that?
bad.
yeah, she's trying to do like the Southern thing, like Jodie Foster, but she's fucking
She's
it up.
so bad at it. It's like because then sometimes I would listen to her and I would forget that she had that accent and it would be American. I'd
Yeah.
be like, oh wait, I mean not American obviously, but like North American and then from the South.
Yeah, where is she from in the book again? She's definitely down south. I forget.
I forget where.
I don't know.
So yeah, she confronts Avelda, the drug girl, with the baby in the carriage, and
Way to put your baby in harm, by the way. Like, oh, I'm gonna shoot these people. They're not gonna shoot me back. Yes, the fuck they are.
It's terrible.
oh yeah, she should know. She's like, oh no, the cops, they'll never shoot. Yeah, you should probably be.
They'll
Yeah,
shoot you, not the baby. Like
yeah. Well, the baby is supposed to be armor.
yeah, but
Like-
she shoot her like in the shoulder, right?
Yeah, she shoots her in the shoulder. And she gets shot too.
Does she die
Yeah,
Is
she
it-
dies.
from being shot in the shoulder?
Yeah, it probably bleeds out and stuff. Okay, I know there's a lot of movies, especially this one at the end, where people get in the shoulder and they're fine, but like sometimes it can kill you. Like,
Sus.
okay, the fucking animatronic baby looks real as shit. Because where she's like hosing the blood off the baby. Because what's her
I
face?
like how she's just blasting the hose, by the way. Like,
She's like, it's okay.
it's like, oh
They
my God,
mentioned
put it on
she's
the side
like-
and then splash it on the baby. Like, damn.
That was I think it's because they mentioned she was like HIV positive, so she wanted to like get the blood out of the baby. But like it's an animatronic baby and it looks real as hell. When I was a kid, I'm like, did they just like blast a fucking baby with that hose? I'm like, that looks fucking horrifying.
Oh God, it reminds me of like those '90s commercials. Remember the baby that's like dancing?
Oh god, it's in a box. We literally have like a thing for
you
that,
don't.
like a T-shirt. It used to be over
Oh
there.
my God.
It was in Ally McBeal all the time.
Oh, okay.
She would hallucinate it. Not Ally McBeal fans?
No.
Okay, just me. Anyway, Clarice is sad. Because I guess you'd be sad too if your coworker got shot. Not me so
And also,
much.
like, the situation with the baby and just, yeah.
Nah, I don't care about that. But it gets worse because she's like, she's getting blamed for everything. And I'm on Clarice's side. I'm like, she didn't, what the fuck? Why is she getting the blame for this? She didn't do anything.
she was the one that didn't want to go, and
Yeah, and there's other
everyone.
people there that could be like, oh yeah, that guy fucked it all
Right.
up.
exactly.
Well, the dude's sexist as hell, so.
Oh, Paul Crenler, yeah.
He gets what's coming to him.
Who is in the first movie, played by a different guy.
Yeah.
And I guess we're just to assume that he got a lot of hair plugs between movies, because he was definitely balding in Silence of the Lambs, and now he's Ray Liotta.
Is he the guy that says, "Oh, you got a smart mouth, lady"? I don't know. That's probably not the same guy.
It's Ray Liotta.
Oh yeah, Ray Liotta. Okay, so wait, Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
When I first saw him in this, I thought it was Ricardo Scamarcio, who was like a really famous Italian actor. I don't know why.
How do you confuse Ray Liotta with anyone? It's Ray Liotta.
I don't know. I do love Goodfellas though, so.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. I like Operation Dumbo Drop. I think that was like
What?
it's that movie in the
Where do you get these titles out of your ass? You're just
the
like
movie in the 90s. They had
Dumbo ears. Like
It's the movie in the 90s where he has to like get an elephant somewhere. The only reason I remember it is because on a Will and Grace episode, he played himself. And he's like, everyone thinks I'm like mean, like my character in Goodfellas, but I'm more like my character in Operation Dumbo Drop.
Jesus Christ.
You guys don't have a good memory of Will and Grace? Anyway, let's continue.
No.
Anyway.
So Clarice is totally calling them out. She's like, you guys suck. Like, everything that happened was fucked. And again, I really like the character of Clarice. She's a self-made woman who's constantly being put down by men, and a lot of women relate to them. Again, Johanna doesn't, because I had to give Johanna her job, and I'm constantly giving her things to make her better. And I've been nothing but supportive.
Tony.
But other women relate to
Tony.
Clarice. Yeah.
We're not getting back together. Stop.
No, because you're getting married because of me, because I introduced you guys.
No, you didn't introduce us.
Yeah, I did. Anyway.
Oh God.
And Trisha, it's a whole thing. I have to argue with her dad. I'm like, I should be the one to give her away. And
Yes,
we're
of course.
constantly.
I actually was thinking about doing that as a joke. Have you on one arm and my dad on the other. Just to be like, yeah. Like, that'll be the only way I'll walk down the aisle.
Oh, man.
Please invite me. I want to see that.
So you're the opposite of Clarice, but a lot of independent women out there really relate to her. And they've probably been in situations like this where they got the blame because the guys didn't want to throw their friends under the bus.
I was gonna give you credit for like being really nice and like pro women, but then like the whole like throwing Johanna under the bus is like not cool. So
Well, I just wanted to make
I think
sure.
this is the second time I'm just gonna walk off set today. So.
Twice.
Hi.
So she gets an offer to talk to Mason Verger, who has evidence related to the Hannibal case. He is the only victim of Hannibal to survive. No mention was made of him in the previous film or books, but I guess he just exists now.
Oh, okay. I was wondering.
I guess we're to assume he was in a coma for a really long time.
Did they mention him in the books? Like the Silence of the Lambs book?
No, as far as I can tell, Red Dragon and Silence of the Lambs, they didn't mention him at all. So again, I guess we're to imply that he was just in a coma.
Sure.
Because I'm pretty sure he would have been like, holy shit, my therapist is a monster. You should probably look into him. But that didn't happen. Considering what happens to him, I could see him being in a coma.
Was Hannibal really a monster to him, though?
Well, I'm just saying,
I think he deserved everything that happened.
if I'm reading the local paper and it's like, hey, there's someone out there eating people, and it's like, hey, you know what? My therapist, he was eating pieces of my face. I wonder if they're the same guy.
No, he just ate one piece.
Yeah, it's true.
The rest went to the dogs. Again, deserved.
So they're like, hey,
The dogs didn't deserve that.
so like, hey, you're in trouble. You go talk to the scary Gary Oldman, see what he has to say. His family's rich. I love that he's like, his family's not rich enough to buy a senator, but they can rent them. Like, they're just open to like how corrupt they are. Clarice, you know, there's a lot of growth between films, and Clarice is smarter. She's no longer driving her Pinto. Because
Ford Pinto.
in the previous film, she was driving a Pinto. I'm like, oh, you poor girl. Someone's going to rear end you. You're going to blow up. Now she drives a Mustang.
Nice.
I'm like, okay.
There
Still
you
Ford.
go.
she's a Ford girl through and through. She's only driving.
Very American.
The nice Southern accent.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes. She sometimes has a nice Southern accent. Yeah, so Mason looks terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being a kid being like, and I didn't know it was Gary Oldman for the longest time.
Neither did I. I was literally horrified from this.
As someone who grew up watching Dracula like a million times.
I knew it was him. I could just sense it. This nasty Gary Oldman. I'm sorry.
So you don't like Dracula?
No. And not because I don't like Dracula, but because I don't like Gary Oldman.
I just realized Hannibal, Anthony Hopkins is in that one too.
Is he?
How many movies are they in together? I don't know. Yeah, so the book glances over how horrible Mason is. So he's a Cuties fan. He's a Cuties fan in the book. But he's like, so when he's not physically able to like abuse people, like his family still has like the camp with kids. And he'll like come in and make the kids cry and then has an assistant absorb the tears so they could put the tears in his cup so he could drink their tears.
Yeah, he like puts it in his like martinis, right?
Yes, yeah. They do that in the show, but it's like...
I haven't read the book, but I know of the stuff.
Again, the people reading the book are like, what the fuck is this? Is this like a James Bond villain? What is this? This is so stupid. This is cartoonishly evil. I love it. But they left it out of the movie, and this really...
He would also assault the children, by the way.
Yes, this really pissed me off. I think it's around here. I think it's in one of these scenes. They show the goddamn eel.
Oh,
They show the eel in a fish tank. And it's like, you sons of bitches, you knew you weren't using that ending. Why did you put that in there to trick us? This will make sense later.
Yeah, I'm so confused.
Oh, no, it'll make sense later. Like, they purposely do a close-up on the eel, and it's like... So anyone reading the book probably got real excited, and then they got to the end and they're like, "What the fuck was that?" Yeah, the eel's there. So we find out that Mason hung out with Hannibal one night, who was his therapist, and Hannibal like got him high while he was swinging around and doing weird shit, and got him to peel off his face.
Seemed a good idea at the time.
I love that. It seemed like a good idea.
Yeah, right.
And then he fed pieces of his face to the dog.
And then Hannibal, I don't know if they don't say it in the movie, right?
What?
That Hannibal just ate his nose.
No, they don't say it in the movie.
Because I know that's a thing too.
Yeah.
See, I could be a book snob without even reading the book.
Why didn't Hannibal kill him?
He wanted to make him suffer. Well, I know in the book he tried to kill him, but then it didn't work.
Yeah.
I don't know why they...
Yeah, in the movie, it's weird. It's like, I feel like Hannibal's usually pretty thorough with this stuff.
Maybe he just wanted to make him suffer.
I guess. And who would believe Mason Verger, I guess? Because I think he was already in trouble with the shit. Because I think they assigned him as his therapist after all that stuff went down. But yeah, Clarice, like, doesn't want to deal with his bullshit. She's like, look, I just gotta ask you a fucking question. He's like, let me tell you about God. She's like, God damn it. All right, just shut up.
That's how I felt too, honestly, listening to him.
So this all leads up to, they got an x-ray of a broken arm with Hannibal, and this part's real convoluted because in the book, well, I'm Johanna in the book. Did you know that Aragorn?
Wearing more than a Band-Aid on that nose if you keep your crap up.
Aragorn and what's her face, whatever, Lord of the Rings. I don't know. Anyway, in the book, Hannibal has an extra finger on one of his hands. Oh God, it's still there from the Psycho episode.
Oh shit, here we go.
So Hannibal has an extra finger, I think, on his left hand.
Keep that right there for now.
For some reason, they gave him that in the other books. It's like, yeah, he has 11 fingers. It's like,
what?
Yeah. So in Hannibal, they find this x-ray of him like surgically removing one of the fingers, and that's what this x-ray is. But since they didn't establish the fingers, they come up with this whole convoluted, like Barney broke his arm or some shit. Okay. But yeah, so the evidence guy gives her all the tapes for Hannibal, and he admits that it's been stolen over years. And then he admits to possibly stealing cocaine. You probably shouldn't say that.
Right. Well, those are like, yeah, because then they're... I don't know. It was like the cops are taking all the cocaine that people are bringing in. And
yeah, which I mean happens. But that would be like me going into Ryan's office and be like, Ryan, can you believe someone here is stealing all the camera equipment and computer parts, LOL, and your video game collection? It's just, oh, someone's stealing it. He'd probably be like, all right, well, Tony, we're going to investigate you and you're probably fired.
Like, who the fuck says that?
We actually get to see the tape of what was mentioned in the previous film of the nurse getting her face bit off. Apparently, they had a camera in that room. They just happened to have a camera in that room.
Sure.
And he bit her face. Not as scary as just being told about it in the previous film.
Yeah.
I thought that was creepier.
Yeah.
So he sees Barney broke the arm, so she wants to go around and look for Barney. But they cut out a scene where she goes to the Institute where Hannibal was kept. And she actually goes to his cell, and there's filing cabinets in it, and a crazy homeless guy confronts her. But in the book, the homeless guy was a former patient who just never left after they closed it down. He's just like, I'm crazy and I live here, I guess. It's weird they cut it out because it was in all the trailers, like her in the basement and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, you think you want to revisit that, but they cut it out. So yeah, Barney and Clarice.
Nurse Barney.
They meet up and they chat about their experiences. And I like that she's like, hey, Barney, I know you stole all that shit. And he's like, fuck. It's like, I make a lot of money from it. God damn it.
Right.
And she's like, you're going to have to give me all of that. I'm arresting you. And he's like, God damn. He's a little bit more calm. I would be like, oh, what the fuck? Gabagool, right?
We would just scream capocollo. It's just, that's what Italians do. Hey, gabagool! Così.
I assume that's what they do. I assume that's what they do.
Okay, there's a lot of stereotypes in this film, which I'm going to get into, by the way.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to ask you about one.
Jesus.
So yeah, apparently Dr. Chilton was taping Clarice.
Chitlins.
Chilton?
Remember Chitlins?
Oh,
Remember
yeah, Chitlins. You're like Dr. Chitlins. Dr. Chilton was taping all their conversations, which he definitely wasn't. I was just added for this. And Barney knows a lot about pigeons. He has a whole conversation with Hannibal.
What is it with the pigeons in this?
Yeah, he has a whole conversation about Hannibal, about pigeons and breeding pigeons. And while we're hearing this, we see him with a dead pigeon that he picked up off the street to do something with. I don't know about you. Anytime I've seen a dead pigeon, I've just carried on with my life. I was never like, oh no.
They're filled with
I mean, that's
disease.
just dead animals in general. You don't see me pulling to the side of the road like, this deer's dead!
Let me give him a hug. I feel so bad.
I can bring it back! I'm covered in blood.
I'm just
I get ticks.
It's like fucking Freddy got fingered with him with the deer. That's it by the truck.
Oh God.
Jessica, Photoshop Johanna's face onto Tom Crean and Freddy got fingered where he's wearing the dead deer carcass. By the way, kudos to Barty. Kudos to Barty. He has a shit ton of money, but he's living in a tiny apartment. He's still an orderly. He's laying low. He doesn't draw it. The opposite of Goodfellas when that guy's like buying fur coats and stuff. Like, what are you doing? You just stole so much money. You're supposed to lay low.
Exactly.
Barney watched Goodfellas and he's like, not falling for that.
Remind me of this off camera because I got a story for that.
Oh, God. So we finally, after however many minutes, people in the theater were probably like, where's Hannibal?
Right.
I came here to see Hannibal. We see Hannibal. He's trying to get approved for a job as a curator at a library. Is this library real?
I don't know. What?
They're in Florence. Is the library real?
Yeah, but I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, it is real.
Okay.
No, because I remember looking it up. I'm sorry. I'm so unprepared.
Hannibal is going by the name. It's the opposite of Blair Witch, where you were like over prepared.
I know. I'm sorry. I really did not like this movie. Like, it was such a pain to watch it.
You represent everyone who watched this movie when it came out. We're the weirdos. Anyway, he's going by the name Dr. Fell, and just coincidentally, the previous curator just went missing. What a coincidence!
I wonder if he fell down the stairs. Sorry, I had to add something.
I wonder if he fell.
I wonder if he fell in his mouth.
So
did he eat him? I don't remember. Or did he just
I don't
kill
know.
him?
I don't think they even really go into it. So the previous movie picked a different ending with him in like South America going after Dr. Chilton. He's wearing a blonde wig.
Yep.
In the book, like it ends with him like with bandages, like he's getting his face changed.
Oh, like plastic surgery.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons it's like hard to find him years later.
A lot of criminals do that. You should look out for anyone that changes their face too much. Not that I know anyone that have done that. Tony, is that what you're doing?
Spoiler,
totally a nose job.
Spoiler, I changed my nose so I can get away with
Jesus. Oh, God.
I didn't realize people get nose jobs when they get their deviated septums fixed. And then they just say, oh, I got a deviated septum.
Ashley Tisdale, that happened.
No.
She
I had my
like
deviated septum fixed. I didn't know I could get a nose job at the same time.
Yeah.
That wasn't an
They're
option.
already in there.
Yeah.
That's like when my dog ate the pacifier and they snipped him at the same time. They're like, well, while we're here.
Killed 2 pigeons with 1 stone.
Now he has no more balls.
Jesus, fucking hell. Where are we? Anyway, Hannibal in the movie universe has made no attempt at changing his appearance. I'm just trying to keep this going. Hannibal is just walking around. It's like, hey, it's me. It's like he wants to get caught. He's like, hey, it's me, Hannibal.
I think that's why he doesn't get caught, because he's literally out in the open.
Exactly.
People think he's hiding.
It's one of those like
hiding in plain sight.
It's one of those like, well, no one would be dumb enough to walk around in broad daylight.
It's a serious serial killer. It's a narcissist. That's what they do.
And here we meet Inspector Pazzi.
Giancarlo Giannini!
Now tell me everything about this actor. I've only seen him in a few movies.
Okay, so Giancarlo Giannini is amazing. So he's a very super famous Italian actor. And he is from La Spezia, which is in Liguria, the region up in the north of Italy. On the coast, absolutely beautiful. You guys should go visit. But he lives in Napoli for most of his life.
Okay.
So he is actually the voice dub for Al Pacino movies.
Really?
Yeah. So anything
Al
that
Pacino
Pacino's
doesn't
in.
dub himself. Does Al Pacino not know Italian?
Secondo me no. I don't think Al Pacino speaks Italian, like Italiano. But non lo so. I don't know.
Do you imagine like super broken Italian and him
Usually
dubbing
people who are
it?
bilingual, they'll just do their...
Yeah,
but
no, that's
pretty
true.
funny.
But yeah. But no,
Does he do
Giancarlo-
the Al Pacino accent?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh my God. Yo.
He sounds like Al Pacino as if he were speaking Italian.
Yo, I need to get the Italian dub of Devil's Advocate. I need to know how he does. Where he's like, he's an absentee landlord. I need to know how what's his face does it. I need to hear that.
I'm sure it's on YouTube. Just look it up in Italian.
Jessica, look up a copy of the Italian dub of The Devil's Advocate. I want to hear what he sounds like.
È un padrone assenteista, ecco che cos'è. E uno dovrebbe adorarlo, no mai!
There you go.
Keep going.
Giancarlo has worked with a lot of famous directors like Luchino Visconti, and he was on the set of Sette Bellezze, which is a film by the wonderful Lina Wertmüller, who sadly passed away on December 9th of last year.
Oh.
She was an amazing director because she was actually nominated for the first female director nominated for Best Director at the Academy Awards.
Look at all this really great film knowledge we're giving you guys. And our
all
overwhelmingly male American audience is going to be like, talk about Star Wars.
Guys, this is really super interesting.
Keep going.
So I love the movie The Seduction of Mimi, which Giancarlo Giannini is the main actor in that. And you guys should watch it. Or actually, we should review that because it is a phenomenal Italian movie. It is about getting divorced in Italy. So this guy, I'm not going to go into like the whole plot, obviously, but in Italy, divorce was illegal up until the 1970s. The only way you could get a divorce
Jesus Christ.
is by killing your spouse, proving that they
sold. Don't even go any further. I want to watch the movie.
Exactly. I swear to God, this is like a real law. I swear to God. You had to prove that they like, you have to avenge your honor because they like, disgraziati, like they were just like terrible to you. So they like cheated on you or they did something bad. And then you have to prove that happened and then you can kill them.
Yeah.
Sold.
There was stuff like that in America for a while where you had to prove that to get a divorce. But then something changed. Like something with divorces changed, where you didn't need two-party consent, or something happened. I remember the sequel to they would have done a third movie in the Chinatown series, and it was all going to be about how that law changed, and a bunch of private investigators went out of business because they're like, "Oh fuck!"
Well, that's it.
I'm like, "Well, god damn it!" I'm like, usually, oh shit. But that sounds interesting.
Yes.
I still haven't seen the new Dune. But do they show the Emperor in that one?
Wait.
Because in the
Emperor.
made-for-TV Dune in the 90s, what's his face? What's his name? Giancarlo plays the Emperor in the Dune made-for-TV movie.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm reading the book right now, and I'm about to watch all 3 film adaptations, and I saw his name in the credits. I'm like, oh, sweet. I like him.
Nice.
He's really good in Casino Royale, the first Daniel Craig James Bond movie. He's like the friendly guy turns out to betray him.
No Emperor. Sorry, I was thinking.
Really, no Emperor.
No Emperor.
No. Anyway.
Wait, can I add something else? So
yeah.
Giancarlo in this movie, his last name is Pazzi.
Yes.
So Pazzi, do you know what that means?
No.
It means crazies. Like sono pazzi, like everyone's crazy. So when I was watching this, Pazzi just reminded me like this whole fucking movie is crazy and you're fucking crazy for making me watch this fucking movie. So sono pazzi.
Hey, don't blame
Sono tutti
me.
pazzi.
Thomas Harris for writing this shit.
Siete pazzi.
You think he just got high and wrote this book?
Look how nice he looks.
Wonderful. He looks like a
he's a really
pazzo.
nice old guy. And I said in the last episode, the audiobook for Hannibal Rising, he actually reads it. And he's got just like this
That's
nice, calm voice to the point where I kept falling asleep during the book. He's like, hi. Yeah. And then he describes horrible murder. It's like, what's in your head,
voice.
dude? Like, you seem so nice. What?
I mean, it's like A24 movies anymore.
Yeah. So, Detective Pazzi is looking for the missing curator, and Hannibal calls him out and says, hey, weren't you on the Il Monstro case? Which means the monster.
Il mostro.
Yes, this whole thing, it's only mentioned in passing, but the backstory is Pazzi was looking for this killer. He arrested a guy. He became super famous for catching this awful killer. Turns out he didn't get the right guy, so he was like totally humiliated, which is why he's now in this case. And I think the book implies that Hannibal might have been Il Monstro. Did I say that right?
Oh, Il Mostro, sì.
But apparently, there's a couple times they show this weird guy in the library, like he's cleaning the floor the one time. I read somewhere like that's supposed to be the killer.
Oh.
And that's why he gives Pazzi like a weird look. And it's like, what the fuck? I'm like, you cut that out. You don't need that.
Wow.
But yeah, Hannibal's like, hey, I got all the dead guy stuff, or I'm sorry, missing guy stuff at my place if you want to go look at it. Clarice gets the world record for being the female FBI agent who shot and killed the most people. Is that something?
An award.
Yeah, I read Guinness Book of World Records when I was a kid. I never saw anything like that.
Yeah.
Jessica, look up Guinness World Records.
It might be like an internal type thing.
Yeah, let me know if the Guinness World Records has a record for a female FBI
I think
agent who's
that's not
killed the most
something
people.
that you would want. Like,
And she's so like calm about it. Like, oh, can you believe this? I killed so many people.
Well, don't they have that thing with that dude, the sniper, the American sniper dude?
Yeah.
He like killed like the most like people or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Like, but I'm pretty sure they're not gonna put that in the Guinness Book of World Records. And if they did, that's fucked up.
yeah, exactly. Like, who's gonna like wanna? I mean, there's people that would want to beat that record. Like,
I mean, there's a lot of stupid records. I could.
Oh, that's crazy.
This is actually interesting, so it probably wouldn't be in the Guinness Book of World Records. It's like, hey, here's the biggest fucking rock we've ever seen. It's like, yeah, that's real cool, Guinness. Anyway, she gets a letter from Hannibal. And this is pretty funny. So we talked about in Silence of the Lambs, they changed her dad from a night watchman to a cop for that movie. In this movie, he refers to her dad as the dead night watchman. And like, because it's accurate to the book, but if you watch the first movie, it's like, oh, he's just being really mean. And like, for years, I'm like, wow, that's really mean. And then it's like, oh, the movie is also pretty much just pretending Silence of the Lambs didn't happen at some points. It's weird.
There's just no consistency in this.
There isn't. There should have been a continuity guy that's like, well, that doesn't make sense in this version. Oh, so Hannibal is just loving that the FBI is treating her like shit. He just loves it. He's like, ha, you care about them so much, and they just threw you under the bus, you dumb broad. He literally says that in his note. But he's excited. He's excited for her to chase him. And I like that he's like, I don't know how much luck I should wish you, because you got to arrest me. There's some perfume assholes that are smelling the paper to figure out where the perfume came from. The one guy is, I think, an Italian actor who's in a lot of stuff. He's Hector Salamanca in Breaking Bad. The main guy was talking.
100%, yeah.
But then the Indian guy is, what's his name? Samir Nahinanajar from Office Space.
Oh. I don't watch it.
I don't care about
No, not The Office. Office Space. The one with Milton.
Yeah, I don't watch it. I mean, I didn't watch it.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, you know, it's
well,
not.
aren't there like 2 movies or something?
No, there's just one movie.
Oh, I don't know.
It started out as a series of cartoons on Saturday Night Live, but it's only one movie.
Okay.
It's a good movie. You should watch it.
I've seen bits and pieces.
But this Indian guy's in it. He's really funny. He's also in Bad Santa. He's the crazy guy who fights Billy Bob Thornton in the parking lot. Patsy sees his, or Patsy.
Oh, wait, but that's really funny, though, because they're, like, talking about this fucking perfume.
Yeah.
And they're like, it's only available where? In, like...
Yeah, he's like, you'll find it in, like Florence and stuff. Because it's made out of, like, a special whale oil.
Yes. Well, you know, I think that you can find this in the Palazzo qui a Firenze. Like, very specific. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. This movie was just so off the wall.
There's a lot of this stuff in, like, the book and whatnot. And I feel like Thomas Harris just wants to let people know, like, he's been around. Like, I know fancy things.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Okay. It's great, Thomas. We believe you. You don't have to put everything in your book. So yeah, what you call it? Patsy's co-workers duplicating the security footage, and he notices Hannibal on the tape.
This poor dude, though, like, he's trying to make the copy.
Yeah, and he pauses it. He's got to restart it.
He literally just like,
Damn it.
So he pauses it. He sees Hannibal, and he's like, "Huh? The FBI wants security footage from this place, and here's a guy I'm investigating." So he pieces it together. In the book, this is actually less convoluted than the book, where he sees a drawing that Hannibal does. He's like, "I remember when I was in Americana, and I went to that one place and I saw his drawings, and it's the same drawings." I'm like, that's super fucking convoluted.
I love those stereotypical accents, Tony. Again, with the hands.
I'm very Italian, okay?
Sì, si vede. Si vede.
I can't do my dad's accent that well. Can
you
do my dad's
I
accent?
cannot do your dad's accent.
He should be on the show. We should do some Italian movie. Seriously, have him come on.
I don't remember the last time you saw an Italian movie.
Tell him to watch Mimi, The Seduction of Mimi, and then we'll all do it together as three.
Anyway, let me see here.
The first scene in Florence, like when
Yes.
Patsy is like looking at this whole like Web Italia stuff.
Oh yeah, I have a thing later about Web Italia. Is Web Italia real?
No.
All right, keep going.
But like it's so fucking stereotypical because then his like wife or whatever comes in and she's like, "We need the opera tickets." I'm just like, shut the fuck up.
Do people in Italy not go to the opera?
No.
They don't? Wait, you worked in Italy with like an opera singer, right?
Yes, I did. I worked with Andrea Bocelli.
The opera ticket.
Why are you throwing stones here? You literally worked at an opera thing in Italy. And you're like,
I did. But it was with Andrea Bocelli, which he's wonderful, right?
I literally had no idea who that guy was until you worked for him, and then I started seeing stuff with him like everywhere.
Right.
When I was in the Florida Keys, I sent you a picture of some old lady that had one of his hoodies on. I'm like, is this the guy you worked with?
Of course. Bocelli's super famous. And like
Yeah.
that's totally fine because in Italy, yeah, of course, people
How
go
do
to
I know
operas.
this before you and you're supposed to be the Italian one?
Let's get him on the show.
That's a good idea. Hey, Bocelli.
Has he
vieni
worked
qua.
on any movies? I literally know nothing about the guy.
No, I won't know.
Can you talk about Gladiator? That's a Ridley Scott movie in Italy.
He
Where did they
sang
use
for
his
the
song?
soundtrack of Gladiator.
What?
Well, he sang one of the songs. Yeah.
Let's get him in here.
Let's do it.
We'll talk about Ridley Scott's Gladiator.
What was the ice skating movie with like Will Ferrell and that other dude?
Blades of Glory?
Yeah, they use his song while they're ice skating.
Yeah, and in Step Brothers.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, so get Bocelli in here. We'll do a review of Gladiator and Blades of Glory.
Let's do it. That's a
Perfect.
great idea. I'd be like,
You know, there's people who don't
what
like
the
Gladiator.
fuck are you singing?
It's okay.
Do you like Gladiator?
It's fine.
Is that a Ridley Scott movie you
Yes.
like?
It's fine and
Not
fun.
this, though.
No.
Ridley Scott is like...
He should have just stuck with the gladiators.
Ridley Scott
not
is
the
like
cannibals.
what made me want to be a filmmaker because he directed Alien, but you know, it's cool. Just shit on his movies. That's fine.
Oh, God.
No, his movies today are terrible, so you were actually ahead of the curve. I'm here defending him in 2001. I'm like, he's a genius, and then 2012 comes around, I walk out of Prometheus, and I go, that was awful. That last...
You knew it was gonna be awful.
No, Prometheus I didn't. Alien Covenant. We went into Alien Covenant like ready to hate it because of how bad Prometheus was, and then we walked out and we were like, I didn't think it could be that bad. Holy shit, he topped himself.
Bad.
Ridley, I love you, but Stop making movies. Also, I think you might be an alcoholic. I've seen your interviews lately. You're not making a lot of sense. Did he do that House of Gucci movie? Did he direct it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I heard it was so bad. I didn't even watch it. You know why? Because of the accents.
Yeah.
I don't have this with accents.
The best movie he's done recently was The Martian, but he literally stepped in last minute to replace a different director. It was already like good to go. So that's like,
oh God.
So he probably just walked in and went, yeah, do whatever you were going to do. Sure. I'm credited. Because I watched The Martian. I'm like, why doesn't this suck like everything else he's putting out? I'm like, oh, okay. Because someone else said
that was
it all.
the Matt Damon one, right?
Yeah. So.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Yeah, it was a good one.
It was.
Too good for a modern Ridley Scott movie.
Right.
Yeah, so he's on Web Italia. And he's checking fucking. Little did they know, Osama bin Laden was on the FBI's top 10 most wanted, but this came out pre 9/11.
Yep.
So
that's weird.
they were ahead of the curve there.
Conspiracy
Now I'm
theories.
wondering if
No, wasn't he still like involved with the FBI? Like,
well, no, yeah. He was definitely on there for like other stuff he was doing, but little did they know in 2001 he was going to be a little. They're going to bump him up a little bit more. So yeah, he sees that he can make $3 million from giving Hannibal over to Mason Verger, and he's very greedy. Again, they don't really tell you why he's doing all of this. They should have went into a little bit more detail. Like, yeah, he's fucking disgraced because he's like an asshole.
Well, that and then family stuff too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The family stuff. I have questions about that. We find out the reason Krendler doesn't like Clarice is because she turned him down a few years ago.
Get the fuck over it. I know, right?
It's
Men are gross.
They really are.
Guys,
Gross.
it's just
Taking
Julie.
this off. Fuck you, Ian. I'm kidding.
Tony, not your chance.
No, I don't want. Okay. Now that you're both here, I think I did this in an episode with Crystal. Guys, I don't want to date any woman on the show. When I'm in, because they left a bunch of comments on Blair Witch. If I'm in an episode with a woman, I'm not trying to date them.
You can't have girlfriends. There's a space between girl and friends.
You shouldn't have girlfriends, but unfortunately, that's where my life led me. So I don't want to date anyone on the show. They're all awful. Oh, sorry. And I mean, look, you guys are okay, but I wouldn't make a sign for you guys at the Royal Rumble. That's all I'm saying. I'm so fucking mad she got a sign. Do you know about that?
I do. That's amazing. That's wonderful. Whoever did that is great. Thumbs up. I'll make one for us.
Just, you know, I really love wrestling. I had a wrestler on this show, and it would have been nice to get a shout out at one of the 4 big pay-per-views, but instead Crystal got it, but that's cool.
As she should.
Exactly.
That's cool. And then, you know, every time you guys are in episodes, the comments are overwhelmingly about you.
Where's my sweater meat heat?
I'm fighting with Teespring right now. They're not helping me at all. Teespring sucks. I'm trying to figure out a new merch store because Teespring is a pain in the ass.
Just make my shirt.
The thing is, like, I can't get one shirt up. It's annoying. It's annoying. Something happened at Teespring and they're falling apart.
If I sit down and I'm able to fix this in like 2 seconds, I'm actually going to unlife you.
I was fighting with the we'll talk about it off camera because it's a problem. I want to just that's a work conversation. Anyway,
my shirt.
The good thing about the comments about you, they're usually more negative than the other two. So actually, no, Crystal's comments have been more negative lately. Yours are overwhelmingly positive for some reason.
And they don't know me yet.
Yeah. Mint Salad went in the complete opposite direction. She went from being the most negative comments and then just overnight.
It's just because we memed her and now people are like, oh, she's actually awesome. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, she wore a crop top in that one episode. So her comments went from she's the worst ever have her on to like, oh my God, I'm in love with Mint Salad. But yes, I'm not trying to date anyone on the show. I'm MGTOW now. Men go their own way. So where were we at here? Something about opera?
We were talking about...
Oh, Krendler, yes.
When he was turned down.
Yeah, he turned her down. It's Julianne Moore. Like, I like Julianne Moore.
Cute.
But like...
She was in that movie with, was it, Amanda Seyfried? Is that how you say her last name?
Sure.
Yeah.
It's a lesbian movie.
Sure.
Oh my God, it was such a good movie.
It was really good.
Speaking of Julianne Moore.
What it's called.
Speaking of Julianne Moore.
Chloe?
Yes.
Chloe.
Yes.
It's good.
we have a commentary track. Me and Crystal, we did a commentary for the 1998 remake of Psycho, where she plays Lila. And she's the best actor in that movie, but not by much. But yeah, it's just like Julianne Moore is like fine, but like relax, Ray Liotta, like calm the fuck down.
And also it's been 3 years, so
she's no Jodie Foster.
She is no Jodie Foster. Oh, and then she says Lecter killed a flutist named Benjamin Rasbell, which again is accurate to the book, but they forgot the previous movie used that name for a different character. So now it's like, are there just two fucking people named Benjamin Rasbell who both got murdered?
Yeah.
It's a very common name. It's like John Smith.
Totally.
I run into Benjamin Rasbells all the time.
I just met one at the coffee shop the other day.
Oh, yeah. Like, hi, I'm Benjamin Rasbell.
Right.
I'm a flutist. Okay.
Exactly. The Philadelphia Orchestra.
Yeah, so that like stuck out to me because that stuck out to me like even years back. I'm like, wait a minute, flutist. I'm like, what the fuck? That wasn't what they said. I like that Clarice and Franco, Patsy's like assistant, are like being really nice on the phone. Yeah, they're being really nice on the phone. It's like, oh, that tape should have got there. Like, oh, that's okay.
She's like, anything for you. I got
and then meanwhile, he's like drawing her naked and she's drawing him with like a mustache, like a pizza chef. Like they're being like real nice on the phone. They're real mean to each other. I'm like, what is this scene?
This fucking Mario looking Italian guy.
Yeah, it really is. Oh, that reminds me. I got to find a picture. There was a pizza place by my house like years and years ago, and their mascot was literally Super Mario just with the chef hat. And I remember like coloring it in. I'm like, you sons of bitches, you just copy and paste. I don't know if Nintendo of America was aware of them, but they're not around anymore. Maybe that's what happened.
I wonder why.
It was like that bar by my parents that had the Roadrunner.
Oh, yeah.
That's gone.
Oh,
that was demolished. Rest in peace, Biggies.
So yeah, Patsy calls the Lecter hotline, and he gets told that he needs to get fingerprints first to verify that it is Hannibal, and then they will give him the $500,000 advance or $100,000 advance. Also, Hannibal says "okie dokie" now.
Okie dokie.
Yeah.
That's his catchphrase. I like that so Patsy's there to like get fingerprints.
He's purposely not touching anything.
He's purposely not touching anything and then putting on gloves. I love that he puts on gloves. He's like, it's so cold, but he's also barefoot. And he's like, you son of a bitch. You know exactly what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
But here he tells him, it's like, hey, he tells him like, hey, are you related to this other guy named Patsy who was like he was tried for murder and like hung? Is any of this true?
Disemboweled while hung.
Is this true? Is this a true story?
I don't know.
Okay. So there wasn't a guy named Patsy who was thrown over a thing and hung?
I don't know. I don't know so. Now I'm curious. Look it up. Jessica.
Jessica's like, she's photoshopping two things. Now she's looking at like Italian literature. Or Sean, whoever edits this. We always say Jessica, but Sean's been editing a lot more lately.
You,
so Sean, if you're editing this, and let's all acknowledge Sean. Let's thank all of you.
Yeah, thank you, Jessica, too.
So, Patsy, he sees a pickpocket guy.
I love this scene.
In the book, it's a woman.
Well, good, because the man should die.
In a book, I think in the book it was a woman who had like priors, and he said like he'll.
Well, it's the same with this guy.
Yeah, but I think she even like had a kid. I think she was a drug addict. It's been a few years since I read it, but they switched it to a man for some reason. What were you gonna say?
No, I was really confused in this scene because I love watching movies with subtitles, even if it's in English, like with the English subtitles. But here he says something like once the guy passes and like pickpockets, and he's like, "Oh, Kenyaka." Or something. Like, I'm pretty sure that's what he said, and I was really fucking confused. I was like, wait, what? Because nyaka means, like, really sexy girl. And so I was like, why are you calling this pickpocket man a sexy girl? I don't know if that's what he said, but I had to, like, rewind. Sure. So I was confused, that's all.
Maybe he saw a sexy girl nearby.
Maybe it was like the way he said kenyaka, and then it, like, goes on to the pickpocket. I'm like, wait, what? I don't know. Maybe it's wrong.
Maybe he's just trying to fuck with a pickpocket. Maybe I have no idea.
I don't know.
So yeah, they have the whole plan. He's like, "Hey, you're gonna wear this bracelet." He's like, "You need to be caught. He
needs to grab your wrist.
He needs to grab your wrist. So you're not trying to get away with this
like
one.
it needs to be a clean print. Like he needs to grab you the right way. Otherwise, like you're going to jail for the summer. Like,
yes. Are pickpockets really bad in Europe? I heard they're really bad in Europe.
Oh yeah, in Rome it's terrible. In Napoli it's like the worst. Rome it's really bad. You have to be really careful when you're getting onto the metro. Like if you have a backpack or a purse, they'll literally just come up, take it off, and then the doors close and you're fucked.
In London, when I went for the first time, there was a dude who literally was like trying to drag with his foot this woman's purse, and I pointed it out. Like I was just like, "Man, watch your purse." I could have died probably, but and then the dude leaves, and I'm just like.
My mom and my dad went to Florence for their wedding anniversary in 1990.
Okay.
And they were in Florence. My mom had this beautiful fur coat on, fake fur for anyone watching, and she had this really nice lighter because she smoked back in the day. And so my uncle had given her this as a wedding gift, this nice lighter. She had it in her pocket. This guy just comes over, reaches into her pocket. This is in the middle of Florence. Reaches into her pocket, gets the lighter, hands it over to the next guy, starts running. My dad, who was obviously Italian and he was like super hot-headed back then, goes running after this guy. He's like, "Ma vaffanculo, fermati, ma che cazzo vai?" And then he like goes, like jumps and like tackles this guy in the middle of Florence, and he's like beating him up, and he's like, "Where the fuck is the lighter?" Right? And then the fucking the carabinieri come, right? The police, the Italian police, and they're like watching this scene, and they're like, "What the fuck?" And then my dad's like, "You gotta help me," and they're like, "Meh." Coffee break. And they're like sipping on fucking coffee, right? So my dad takes this guy and just like throws him up against the freaking car, and he's like, "Guarda, devi fare qualcosa." Like, you have to do something. He just stole my lighter. And then they had to like go through this whole thing because the guy obviously didn't have the lighter anymore because he had passed it on to his friends. So they all like went to court. They were supposed to go to like Switzerland the next day. They didn't.
It's just a fucking lighter. I'm sorry.
So like they had to go to court.
It was a point of pride.
A light?
It was a point of pride.
Look, sometimes the bad guys win, all right? And they're going to get your lighter.
But when they went to court, like the Italian, like they still wear like the curly white wigs.
Oh shit, I got one in the prop closet over there.
So you got to go back to Italy and become a judge.
Exactly.
I didn't realize Italy did that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah.
They got to change that.
Yeah.
They got to
I think I don't know if they changed
their hair.
Yeah. Yeah, they need the gel slick back.
So yeah, I heard
The
pickpockets were really, really bad.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I know
Sorry, no, I
lighter,
I got a flashback of your mom being really mad at me when I walked into your This years ago, I went over to Trisha's house when I was living when we lived a couple towns over. And like you had that tiny dog. I'm like, hey, I don't want to scare you guys, but there's a rat in your house.
Same shit to me.
That's terrible.
Oh, I did it with your old dog. I'm like,
call her a skunk.
I'm like, guys, don't
My mom
relax.
was like so freaked out. She's like, "What's wrong?"
I'm like, there's a rat in the house. And it just pointed to like this dog that looked terrible. Yeah, I did it. I did it to Johanna. I'm like, oh my god, look at that skunk. Why do you have that?
Yeah, that's why Bear wanted to rip your face off at first. He's like, say something about me.
And then
bitch.
when the dog died, she was really sad. I'm like, hey, I'm like, look, it's impressive. Skunks don't usually live.
Oh my god.
So where we at, Potsy?
You about to be unalived.
So the pickpocket. He goes to steal from Hannibal, and Hannibal knows what's going on.
I like this little like scene, whatever.
The little cat
and they look at each other, and
Hannibal stabs him.
Yeah, because he ends up getting in front of him, and then he turns around to go, and apparently tried to stab him in the balls.
Yeah,
but
the guy doesn't know what's happening. He's like, oh, he tried to stab me in the balls, but he's missed. It's like Hannibal didn't miss. He knew exactly what artery to cut.
But he got the print.
He got the print. He did get the print
On the silver cuff.
and the silver cuff, and then we see a pig statue, a pig fountain. Is the pig fountain real? Can I go see that?
Oh my god.
You can go.
That was a fucked up scene. He's like washing the blood off and the thing, and I'm just like, ugh.
It's like that Shakespeare play.
Terrible.
What is that Shakespeare play where they wash the blood off? Anyway, we find out that Verger.
Honestly, what? Like, you have to be more specific on when they're washing blood off, because that's a lot of Shakespeare plays. A lot of people die. Like, a lot of people.
Is it King Lear?
You gotta describe the scene.
I don't fucking know.
I want to say, but I think it's bad luck to say the name of that one. Right? I mean, we're not in a theater.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's just in a theater that you can't say it in a theater.
We're not in theater, so it's Macbeth.
No. Oh, it is Macbeth. Okay, yes, it's Macbeth. You're right.
A lot of people die in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. Oh.
So anyway, the pig is there to let us know that a pig is coming. So Mason Verger has guys in Sardinia just raising angry pigs that are trained to maul humans when they hear the sound of humans being murdered.
No, screaming.
Screaming.
At this point, I had to turn it off. Like, what is happening?
Are there a lot of pigs in Sardinia?
There's a lot of pigs everywhere in Italy, honestly.
Aww.
Yeah. There's actually in my dad's hometown in Montella, I remember there's this huge mountain and on top there's a church. And they always had the pigs crossing over. So it was like a traffic jam. It was between pigs and sheep.
I don't like sheep, but I like pigs.
Have you been to Sardinia?
I have. It's beautiful.
Oh.
It's probably the most amazing place in Italy. Sardinia.
Is it a great place to train killer pigs?
Probably for this fucking
Can I bring my mannequin and throw it into a pig pen?
Yes.
Have like an audio recording in there of screaming.
Actually, you know what they do in Sardinia? I think it's Sardinia. They have casu marzu, which is cheese. They make this like really illegal cheese made with maggots.
I heard about that.
Right? It's disgusting, but it's like a
to be honest, the whole process of cheese is disgusting, but then you add maggots and it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Who thought of this?
I'm gonna yell at
like maggots.
I'm gonna yell at my dad.
It's like, I wonder if this is delicious. Like,
I'm yelling at my dad later. I'm like, Dad, what the fuck's wrong with you? He's like, what? Like maggots? He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Potsy's an idiot. All he has to do is tell Mason's men where Hannibal is gonna be. And he's like, I insist I be there. And they're like, these guys are professionals. He's like, so am I. It's like, what are you
He
doing?
wanted to get back his honor.
Huh?
Yeah, he wants the reward and he wants the honor.
What's the honor? He has to do it secretly because he'll get in trouble if he collected the bounty independently. He's a cop.
Because it's for him.
Stupid.
Men are dumb.
Just call them and be like, yeah, he's at the library. He's a librarian. Like, it's pretty easy to find him. Just look for a building that has a lot of books in it. And he's probably there.
He's probably drinking coffee and then aperitivo and then wine, which is another stereotype in this movie.
Make sure your guys blend in with other Italians. So make sure they're wearing tracksuits.
And their hair's slicked back.
Is that a stereotype?
Yeah.
Wow. So you're saying I'm a stereotype?
You are a living stereotype right now, Tony.
What?
I think he always is.
Yeah.
I'm wearing a traditional Italian outfit.
And you just scream gabagool.
Yeah. We all do that.
Bancool or whatever.
But yeah, look,
said.
It's a traditional Italian outfit from the Italian film Rocky IV. That's Stallone, Italian actor Stallone, an Italian writer, because he wrote the first Rocky, sells on his store. It's even got the flag.
Taking place in Italian South Philadelphia.
Rocky has never been to Italy, has he?
Probably not.
I don't know.
You better go in Creed 3. Anyway, did we do that? Did I skip over the opera?
No, we're talking about the opera now.
Yes, they go to a weird-ass opera, and Hannibal is flirting with Potsy's wife.
Oh, no. Before we even do that, I love that scene where, like, Potsy's just, like, staring at him, and you literally see Hannibal's face, and he's just like, this motherfucker's looking at me.
And
I'm
he's
tired
just
of
like-
it. And then he literally just goes,
Wait, no. It's not even like this. It's like,
no, he just jerks it. No.
How you doing?
No, he literally goes, like, he was just like, I know exactly what you're doing. You're not being subtle. You're looking at me, now I'm gonna look at you. And then he, like, immediately looks away, too. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm not looking at you. And then he just keeps staring.
yeah. And then,
eventually they're both like,
so he gives,
Hannibal's like,
gonna hit on your
fucking
wife.
kill you, and I'm gonna hit on your wife.
he gives, what's her name, Allegra?
Uh-huh.
He gives her a famous, like, poem or something.
Ovviamente. Allora, Dante, Vita Nova, the first canto.
Yes, that.
That's what he quotes to her, which is like super romantic, but also like you're hitting on his fucking wife, and she's totally going for it.
Yeah. Well,
Like-
see, killers recognize other killers because if you've seen the movie Collateral Damage starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, you would know that she was the secret terrorist in that film, and they blow her up at the end.
So this has everything to do with that.
Yeah. So yeah, he gives her like an original copy, and I'm like, I don't think you're allowed. Like, you would think Patsy earlier, he was just like, hey Patsy, if you want that painting of your ancestor, he's like, aren't you trying to get a job at the?
Right.
What are you doing, you asshole?
Just going through like the Vatican archives and be like, this looks like a nice San Valentino gift.
But she said,
Which
like,
I could have
hey,
been friends
do you?
with Hannibal.
Huh?
He was in the Vatican archives or whatever. I want that letter that Henry VIII wrote to Anne Boleyn.
What did he write?
I don't know. I want to see it.
No.
But they have it for some reason, probably because they're still salty that England broke off.
Is that the one whose head he cut off, right?
Well, he cut off 2 of their heads, so.
No.
But it was the second wife, who literally is like the reason that he broke off from the church.
What number wife do you get to when you start to think, maybe I'm the problem?
See, he never believed he was the problem, even though he definitely was the problem.
I don't know. If I get up to like wife 4 or 5.
It's the first wife, he divorced, and then she died from cancer. The second one he beheaded. The second one just died after giving birth.
Died?
Yeah, she died after giving birth to their son.
Okay.
And the son ended up dying young too.
Okay.
Then the next wife was divorced. The other one beheaded, and then the last one survived because he just dies.
So 2 wives
Yes.
Yeah, I think by wife number 3, once the head comes off, and I'll be like, I think I might be doing something wrong. What could I change so I don't...
Not Henry VIII. He was like, nothing's wrong with me. I'm perfect. That's literally. And then
I'm just saying. I feel that way about Stalin, how he kept killing all his friends. At some point, he should have been like, maybe I'm just paranoid. I don't know. So she tells him, like, hey, do you think someone can meet someone once and fall crazy in love? And you could tell he's thinking about...
Gasp.
He's thinking about Clarice. And like, how ridiculous would it be if Clarice and Hannibal fell in love with each other, right? That'd be ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilers for something I'm mentioning later. Clarice calls Potsy, and she's like, hey, someone there is checking our system looking for Hannibal. And he's like, it's not a me.
We all use each other's computers.
And she's like, I'm talking about the one
home.
She's like, it's the one at your home. And he goes, Mamma mia.
My Web Italia.
My Web Italia.
Which in reality, they don't have Web Italia. They have Google.
Well, were you there in 2001?
Google.
Were you there in 2001?
No, actually, I wasn't. No, you know what? Maybe there was a Web Italia. No,
Yeah, maybe there was.
Google it.
Look up Web Italia.
Google it.
So she's basically like, hey, you're trying to collect that bounty. This is a terrible idea. Oh, God, don't do this. And he just hangs up on her because he's an idiot. He's a fucking idiot.
He really is. He's Pazzo. The name says it all.
Hannibal is doing a presentation on hangings and famous pieces of art. And he mentions Judas being hung with his bowels out.
The one picture was Judas without the bowels out. And then he was like, oh, my friend's here. This is a picture of this guy with his bowels out.
So after the presentation, Patsy stays, and Hannibal shows him a picture of his ancestor being hung
with the bowels out.
Yes, and why is Patsy having his back turned to someone he knows is a fucking cannibal? Like, for so long, it's like, dude, look, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Like, how many times do they have to make it up?
Yeah, but he's giving very serious thought to eating his wife.
I'm giving very serious thought to eating your wife.
That's a good fucking... I think they put that in the trailer. That's a good fucking line. So yeah, Hannibal questions...
But which way? Because you were flirting a little bit.
He doesn't even have... Because he gets knocked out. He's going to be like, oh, wait, oh, God. Hannibal would probably be... would Hannibal be bad or good at that?
I think he'd probably be great, to be quite honest. I think he'd
but at what point does the cannibal part hit in? He's got to like reel it back a little. Yeah. We're really overthinking this.
Yeah,
we should call Thomas Harris. Where does he live? Hold on. Native of Mississippi. Okay, guys.
Hey, Tom, how is Hannibal with eating...
Let's just go to Mississippi.
All right.
I've been there before. We'll just knock on every house until we find Thomas Harris. Like, hey, is Hannibal good at muff diving? We really want to. Anyway,
The world needs to know.
Thomas Harris is like, my 5th book's actually going to be about that.
I'll be like, shit, I'll read it.
So, I got to do a poll now. Anyway, so Hannibal questions him. He's like, all right, you got me. You're ratting me out to Mason Verger. He's got men out there. And then an hour and 17 minutes, Hannibal finally talks to Clarice. The thing everyone wanted. The trailer made it seem like it was going to be them back and forth.
Hello, Clarice.
Yep.
I like that she's caught off guard. She's like, oh, shit.
Is he dead?
Yeah, and he's just like, hey, you caught me at a bad time. I love it. Like, he caught me at a bad time. He's really happy to hear from her. And then he cuts open Patsy and throws him over the balcony. And I like the tourists laugh because they're probably being told about the story.
Yeah, like they think it's like a reenactment.
Yeah, and it's awesome that they show
It
the
was
cell
gross
phone.
when it falls out
Yeah.
and it splats on the ground.
Yeah, you see
but
the-
like still a piece.
Yeah, you see the phone, and then you just see the guts
Oh
of the phone.
God.
But then there's just still one piece hanging. So like the way he had it been thrown literally like ripped his intestines too because it went to the ground. Because like it wasn't hanging like from him onto the ground. It literally like ripped and splatted on the ground.
But
Nasty.
to be fair, he was nice and said ciao.
Ciao.
Oh, and
He
then,
went ciao.
and then he says the okie dokie, like okie dokie.
He does okie dokie
Ciao.
3 times.
Okie ciao.
Okie dokie.
This was in Piazza della Signoria in Florence, by
Yes.
the way. So that actual where he was hung from is where the statue of David is inside.
Oh, okay.
Replica. So
A replica of the statue,
it's
Dave?
not the real statue of David, but yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's not as cool.
So it's like the most famous piazza in Florence. So there were a lot.
but
of people
they don't
watching.
have the real statue, David.
You just
Let's
want to look at his
say
dick.
it is.
I'm just saying, if it's,
His
where's the
nice
real statue of
sculpted
David?
ass.
No, actually.
I have an apron that is the statue of David. Mid Salad wore it the one time when she was at my place. I think, you know what? I'll go there. They can get rid of the statue and I'll just stand there.
That's a really good idea, Tony. Go
In the
ahead.
apron, they'll be like,
The statue of Tony.
like, wow, I thought
Oh my god, I
it'd
would fucking pay to see that.
be, like, I thought that'd be more impressive. Like,
Wait.
I'll paint myself white and everything. Just wear this.
Oh god.
I should have wore that. The
have
next
to.
Italian film, I'm gonna wear the
You
apron.
should. I thought that's a good
By the way, that's my
God.
dad's apron. I don't know why he bought it, but I remember the first time walking in and seeing like the David penis on it. I'm like, Dad, what are you? What the fuck?
Oh my god, I have the perfect gift I'm gonna get you when I'm in Italy.
Okay. So, he also kills one of Mason's men.
It was the younger brother of the
Yeah,
dude.
the younger brother of Carlo. He slits his throat.
And, like the way he like slits his throat, his body like flies backwards.
Oh yeah, and it's
like,
that
what
choppy.
the hell? Yeah.
I hate that choppy slow motion
What the
effect
hell?
that every movie was using around that time. So then we cut to the woods, and Hannibal is chasing Clarice through the woods, but she doesn't know. They cut this scene out of the movie, but this is also in the book. But he like gets in her car and licks her steering wheel.
Fucked up.
He like smells her steering wheel and like licks it, and then leaves her sunglasses on the steering wheel and leaves.
Ew.
And I listened to the commentary with Ridley Scott. And he's like, yeah, it's a really great scene in the book, but yeah, we didn't need it. He's like, we probably didn't need this. They also cut out in the book, he like kills a few people to like, let everyone know he's home. And I think he like kills a hunter. And I think the way he kills him is used later on in the Hannibal show. Because you know how he like makes art out of his victims?
Yeah.
He doesn't really do that in this movie too much, except for Patsy, but not really.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like when he gets home, he's like, well, I got to do some murder art. And some poor ass hunter, I guess, gets it. So Mason looks fucking hilarious in the Hannibal mask.
Yeah, why was he wearing the mask?
That was fun.
Sure.
I mean, his face is.
I don't know if someone ripped your face off.
So you
What do
wear
you-
his face mask?
Yeah, I know. Oh.
Well, this is pre-COVID, so it's fine.
No sharing masks.
Alright, well, I'm done.
So we find out he is in cahoots with Krenler.
Yep.
And they plan to get Clarice suspended. This is the $500,000.
Oh, okay.
So they plant a fake letter from Hannibal And they're like, you hid this because you're in love with him, maybe. And the FBI superior's like, we're going to investigate it, but you're suspended. Hannibal apparently is the boogeyman or the devil because he goes into Paul Krendler's townhouse and the dog just gets scared.
No, that's like...
And I'm like, wait, what?
No, that's apparently a thing. Apparently dogs can, like, sense if you're, like, a fucking serial killer or not. Like, no, like, what was it, Ted Bundy, like, couldn't be around dogs.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. That's not a thing.
Okay.
Dogs aren't that smart.
Okay.
Because dogs like you, Tony, and you're saying that they shouldn't.
My dog hated him for like the longest time.
So here's the trick: if a dog doesn't like you, I learned this, and I tried it out on Bear. When it
big Akita,
yeah,
it's huge.
When it's barking, just fall to the ground. Because that's what I did. The one day it barked, and I just
Don't
felt...
listen to this because I have control of my dog. If a dog is barking and you lay on the ground and you die because of this idiot, like the dog's gonna end up mauling someone.
Every time I went to the house, the dog like would bark and scream at me. So the one day the one day I just collapsed, and I guess it felt like it did something wrong, and it was like, oh no.
Because it's Bear. Bear's a dopey idiot.
And then when it was revealed I was alive, from that moment, I was just his best friend. And now the dog, like, now it's been a couple years since I've seen him. I'm gonna have to rebuild that friendship. But like after that moment, it was so happy it didn't kill me that it's like, I love you.
And
you're
with him and everything. Like I walked in, whatever. He's literally laying in my bed. Bear's on him, also laying on him on my bed. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, number one, get out of my bed.
The most important thing, get the fuck out of my bed.
When I used to crash at your place, I had to stay in like your nephew's room, and it was so weird. I'm like, I don't like this.
This sucks for you.
Well, the dog wouldn't be in your bed. You should have slept in your nephew's room and let me.
That's my bedroom.
Wow. Okay. No,
fuck you. My comfy bed.
I thought you cared about Bear. He clearly wanted me in that bed.
You could have slept with him in my nephew's room. Asshole.
So yeah, he breaks into Paul's summer home, but not before locking some poor asshole into a freezer. Did you see that part?
No.
When he sneaks into a hospital to get the bone saw, and there's just this old man like putting a body into the freezer, and Hannibal just locks him in. Now, I'm pretty sure the guy can get out, because when I was in high school, I used to like get stuff out of the freezer for like the lunch ladies, and there was like an emergency thing in there.
Did you have to wear a hairnet?
No.
Oh.
I didn't cook the food. I would just like get them the food.
Yeah, but like
and
if
stuff.
you're in the cafeteria, I don't know, with all of your like big Italian bushy
I wasn't.
hair.
My hair wasn't bushy in high school, and I wasn't really in the. I just like gave him the food, and that was it.
Okay.
But I remember like being in there because like this movie, I was like, oh no, what if I get locked in? And there's like big freezers have like an emergency thing, because I guess that was a thing that happened. They're like, oh god, if someone gets locked in, we have to make sure they can get the fuck
Isn't
out.
that like a thing with trunks now too? Like there's like an emergency thing in the.
Oh, that's been in there for a while. Yeah, the emergency thing. So if you're in a big freezer, don't worry, you can get out. Just relax, push the button, and they'll let you out. You know, for all our fans who just wander into freezers.
Happens all the time.
So Hannibal sneaks into Clarice's house, and he sets up this weird cat and mouse game where he's like calling her on the phone, and he wants her to like find him, and she's being stalked by Mason Verger's men, and it's all convoluted. They get to like a local mall. Oh, Hannibal has a foot fetish. I thought that was creepy. Yeah.
What did he say about her?
He's like, you have very shapely feet.
Fucking nasty.
Like, ew.
You have very shapely feet.
God, it reminded me of the people in my DMs.
You got another offer, didn't you? What did you get offered this time?
Just $50.
$50 again?
$50, but not Bitcoin this time.
Bitcoin's down at the moment. But.
Maybe that's why they're like, oh shit.
Fuck that.
Wait, is it the same person?
No.
I think that's a good offer.
The other one just wanted deep V, and you would have gotten the same amount of money for doing less.
Oh my god. My favorite was when Ian saw that. He was just like, and I get to see him for free. And I'm like, well, from now on,
yeah, exactly.
$50.
I know what I'm worth.
Have you gotten any offers since the Blair Witch video?
I actually haven't.
Okay.
So I want to thank you guys for not being
Someone
creepy.
right now is like, what is her socials?
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, I haven't gotten anything. I mean, I'll settle for a sign at WrestleMania this year. Could someone just print out the picture of my face? The Tony Peaks face. I will send you.
Put it like on a stick.
I will send you the high res version of my face. Please bring it to WrestleMania so I can die happy.
Please.
I can't like. I can't let Crystal win. I need to be seen at WrestleMania. God damn it.
I'm gonna buy tickets.
So make
to
a
WrestleMania.
sign talking about me, Trisha, and Crystal, and mint salad, not Tony, and like sit in front row and be like, yeah.
Tony, I'll go to WrestleMania and have your face on a stick.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, you're usually nice to me, and then of course I get you in here with Johanna, and now I'm getting ganged up again.
Look, I said nothing.
The last time they're like, oh man, Trisha's so nice. Johanna and Crystal are too mean to. I love how there's just sections of
I just
fans.
follow the flow. I don't know. That's what I said. You guys don't know me yet.
And like I said, I know all of them. They're awful. Anyway.
Yeah, I haven't been mean to you this entire episode until you said shit to me. Just saying.
True.
So, he's kind of bragging. It's like, oh, all your morals and self-righteousness and your desire to do good and follow law and order, like it led you to just get screwed over by the FBI.
Like when he's on the carousel and he touches her hair.
Yeah. But so I love that it's sneaky for her, but meanwhile those two fucking Guidos are looking, they're like, I think he's on the carousel. I'm like, does she not see him? Like at any point they should be like, hey lady, he's
Well, she knows he's around that area because she's listening to the music and stuff in the background. So
yeah, but I think he purposely, by the way, he's basically like the Joker to her Batman in this. This is how they're playing it for the movie version. Very different. Especially with the ending, very different. But yeah, he basically gets himself caught so she can see who caught him and figure out what's going on. Which she does. She gets the license plate and stuff, but her superior's like, God damn it, we put you on suspension. What the fuck's wrong with you? He's like, look, we'll look into it, but for fuck's sake, go home and stop pulling your gun out in public. It's just so easy. Stop shooting things, Clarice.
When I see movies like that and they're like telling the cops to like go home, you need rest, it's fine, and they just stay there. I'm just like, dude, if my boss told me to go home and get rest, I'd be like, okay, peace. Like I would have been gone 10 minutes ago.
So of course the cops go to Verger's estate, and Hannibal's not there because why would he be? Because they probably assumed someone was going to be looking.
Yeah.
Which is what happens. Mason's like, bring him. I love when Mason meets Hannibal finally, because you could tell he's just been building up this moment for so long. He's like,
has a script and everything.
I have a script. I'm going to do the scientific name for the boars, and I'm going to describe their teeth, and I'm going to talk about how I'm going to cook them. And then I'm going to say, bet you wish you fed me to the rest of the dogs. And then he's going to pee himself. And instead Hannibal's like, nah, you look pretty funny. Fuck you. And it's like, oh, he built up to this moment and it was just the rug was pulled out from underneath him. Not literally, because then he would fall into the floor. We should have Cripple Jesus watch this movie.
Oh my God.
And get his opinion on it. I would love to see this remade with Cripple Jesus. I'm going to fly Cripple Jesus out and we're going to recreate this scene together.
Okay.
You could be the pig. You could be the guy in the tracksuit. And I'll be Hannibal.
There you go.
What the fuck?
This will be on Patreon.
Yes. So I love that Mason forces Cordell to be there for the murder. And
He wants no part of it.
Cordell's like, I kind of want to go home. And he's like, no, this becomes a mistake. Clarice rescues Hannibal. I mean, to arrest him, but she rescues him, and she's
in love with him.
Yeah, she shoots Carlo right after Hannibal mocks him. He's like, I bet your brother smells as bad as you. It's like, dude, come on, Hannibal. Like, relax. Hannibal, you don't know 100% you're getting out of this. Why don't you fucking relax? The one line I don't like is when Hannibal's like, just like old times.
Just like old times.
Shut up.
It's like, what? Like, you guys have never been in this situation before. You've never been this close to each other before.
I don't know.
So that was annoying. But yeah, she kills Carlo. She shoots the other guy who falls.
And then she gets shot in the shoulder.
Well,
yeah.
Before they start shooting, they're like, oh, bella ragazza, which just means like, what a beautiful girl.
Oh,
I was like, that's also another fucking stereotype. Come on, man. I mean, actually, it's true because Italian men are really like skeevy at times. I mean, a lot of times. So like, I remember walking down the street one time, and not one time, but like a lot of times when I was in Rome, and this one specific time, a guy in a car was like turning the corner. I was standing there, was another girl, and this guy is turning, and he like stops his fucking car right there, and I'm just like waiting for the light to turn green, right? And he just stops and he just goes, "Mamma mia, che bella ragazza." Così, I swear to God, that's what he said, right? And he's just like looking me up and down, and then he drives off. And then like the girl that was standing there was just like, "Ma che cazzo, ma lui non ha mai visto una donna in gonna, ma che significa?" Like, oh, he's never seen a woman in a skirt before. Like the Italian women are so fucking fed up with this bullshit. They're just like,
why are the Italian men so bad at talking to Italian women?
Italian women
Ask
love.
your dad.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. My dad like gave me no fucking good, useful dating advice. And the little that he did give me, I managed to use it, but to varying results. But we would drive around, and he would see like a beautiful woman, and he would just be like, "Hello."
Hello.
That's his thing, like, "Hello." I'm like,
you should tell him.
Thanks,
Dad,
Anthony.
you're Italian. You have to say
That's-
bella ragazza.
that's it, hello. And then literally the only dating advice he ever gave me was, "Tony, you got to start talking to girls more. Just go up to them and say, 'Hey, I'm Tony Peluso, want to make out?'" I mean, I've used the line. It's worked a couple of times, but it's failed more than it's worked.
You should put that on your dating app. "Hey, I'm Tony. I'm the really famous Tony Peluso from Hack the Movies. Want to make out?" Punto.
So, yes, Clarice gets shot. And Mason's like, "What the fuck's going on?" He's like, "Cordell, jump into..." By the way, as this is happening, the fat guy's just getting mauled to death by the boars. No one makes any attempt to even see if he's okay.
Oh yeah, what was it? Because they ended up breaking in, and he's holding Clarice or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they went towards the dudes, whatever, because they probably smelled blood, and they were
I think that's
on
what
the
it was.
ground. So they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit!" And like Hannibal didn't move. He was just like standing.
The irony that they're literally trained from birth to specifically murder Hannibal, and then they get their moment. It couldn't go any worse. They killed their trainers, and then they eat the guy that was meant to.
And then the trainer was also like screaming, so obviously they're gonna stay over there and not even bother with Hannibal.
So
Cordell.
yeah, Mason's like, "Cordell, jump into the pig pen and shoot him." And it's like, Cordell's like, "I'm not doing that." But I love that Hannibal just goes, hey, Mason, just throw him in. You can always say it was me.
Yeah, just say it was me.
Or Cordell. And Cordell's just like, "Oh yeah, I could just say it was
and then
Hannibal."
He does. He's like, "All right."
I love that Hannibal's just ready to take. He's like, "Yeah, blame it on me. I got priors. It's fine." Throw a couple fake ones in there. I'll take the credit for it.
God.
And I love the whole Cordell. Like he gets real quiet. Like, "Cordell, are you still there?"
When he speaks Italian, by the way, I mean now he's like dead, but when he spoke Italian back in other scenes, and he would be like, "Ciao, come stai?" I can't even do
He's like,
the bad accent.
"Come on, stai." Did you enjoy his death? Did you enjoy the pigs ripping him up?
I don't enjoy anyone's death.
Can we
but,
talk
like,
about
I
it?
like the other death.
Okay. And if you've watched the Hannibal show, much toned down version, but they did
Yes.
do this. So Trisha, this is how Mason dies in the book. It also
Goes back to the eel.
Yeah, it also goes horribly wrong. His plan is not working. So Margot is like, "Okay, shit's fucked. This is my chance." And she's got to milk Mason. So she gets an electric cattle prod. Just shoves it up his ass.
Oh my god.
And stimulating, what is it?
The prostate.
So she gets what she needs.
She gets the milk.
Yes. So her and her beautiful lesbian
literally
partner are
okay,
very
okay.
happy. But now that
Holy
she's got
fuck.
what she needs, no need for Mason to be
Well,
alive.
yeah, exactly.
So she literally takes his pet moray eel out of the tank and shoves it down his throat, and it eats his tongue, and then he suffocates on his own
this is
blood.
so fucked up, but I like that version better.
Yes. And they
I mean, both are very satisfying, whatever. But like the book version compared to because who he is in the book,
Yeah.
it's like,
Exactly.
so
yeah.
they do it in the show, but instead of Margot being this muscle-bound butch lesbian, it's beautiful fucking Catherine Isabel from Ginger Snaps.
Yep.
So they totally, I'm like, why would you? Come on, guys. I want the butch girl. Come on. Give me Jordan Grace. I want her. That
Or even
wrestler
they could
Jordan
have done
Grace
like,
should be
you,
her.
you remember that show Avatar that I liked, and then they came out with the other one with Korra,
Yeah.
and she's like a buff girl. At least like if you wanted to give like a petite looking buff girl, like do that then.
Yeah.
Like the frick.
So anyway,
More muscle bound girls.
so that's how Mason dies. He gets a cattle prod up his ass and an eel shoved down his throat.
Wonderful.
So that would have been better,
that
right?
would be so awesome.
And then they have a beautiful incest baby. I hope it turned out okay. And she becomes a billionaire. Good for her.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, would it really be incest, whatever? Because like, doesn't the partner have the baby?
Oh, no. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I think she does put it in the partner. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure the sister at that point like does not want her brother anywhere near her ever again. You know what I mean?
That makes more sense. Anyway, so we get to Paul's house. Hannibal knocks out Paul. He stitches up Clarice. For some reason, Hannibal just left the handcuffs out in plain view and didn't disable the phone. So Clarice is literally like, I don't know where I am. Track the number. Bye. It's like, Hannibal, what are you doing?
Supposed to be a professional.
Like what the fuck? You're really dropping the ball here. So yeah, they have a lovely dinner. I like that Paul's hat says PK. I kind of want to get that for Tim. Yeah, so yeah, they're having dinner and it looks like they have some wine and what else are they eating, guys?
I think it was a nice brown broth he was making.
Yeah. What do they put it in?
It's disgusting.
Fucking Ray Liotta's
This
brain.
is the fucking worst scene. I almost threw up.
And we could have done like a really funny visual gag because we literally own a brain prop and we could not fucking find it before we shot
I literally
this.
have seen it just like sitting here before. Like it was like literally on the.
No.
I thought you were gonna pull it out. I was literally about to be like, oh my god.
No.
That smells great. Yes.
I would really like some wine.
So yeah, this is the scene where everyone went, what?
Yeah.
Ew. In the book and in the movie. When this has happened in the movie, people are like, I remember like my grandmother, my mom being like, oh God,
I
what
love
the
that
fuck?
you just watched this with your family. Like it was totally.
Oh, my grandmother hated
totally
these
normal
movies. My
Friday night
grandfather
movie.
loved them.
See, my grandmother loved these. And I always remember them like being in her like display case of all her movies and everything. And I remember at one point her telling me about the book differences or whatever, and I'm just like, Clarice, what?
We're not up to that yet.
I know.
Trisha doesn't know that part yet.
I know. We'll get.
So yeah, he's
You're gonna say the same thing.
I like that. Like, so like Paul's like drugged and everything, and like he's cooking his brain, and Paul's like, that smells great.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
And Clarice is like too drugged to do anything, so she just has to watch it, and she's like, oh Jesus.
Can I have wine, please?
I just need some alcohol.
And Hannibal, he's pretty much doing this whole like, hey, here's the guy. He like ruined your career, and look what I'm doing for you. I'm such a good guy.
Yeah.
He's such a good guy. The
ultimate simp.
Yeah, he's simping hard for Clarice. A lot of people simping hard for Clarice. Like Hannibal, you could probably. They mentioned in the book because Krenler does say he thinks he's gay earlier in the movie, and in the book, Clarice is like, no, he apparently dated like several attractive women, had relationships, and
Bisexuality is a thing.
no, I'm just saying, like,
I'm just saying in general.
I'm just saying, book version, he'd probably get better than Julianne Moore. Like, Julianne Moore is cute, but you could probably get like a Gillian Anderson, is what I'm saying. What would you rather have?
Jodie Foster.
Well, yeah. Anyway. So yeah, this scene's nuts. I love this scene when I first saw it. Is this your first time seeing the movie?
Yes.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you never saw this until now.
Nope.
This is great.
I remember when it came out, my brother liked the movie, so I would see like bits and pieces,
Yeah.
but I never actually watched.
Do you
it
like
all the way
Silence of the
through.
Lambs?
I saw that. I don't
Okay.
really remember the whole film, but yeah,
Okay.
I
Yeah,
did
because
like
like how you're acting, it's just like, because this is a very like big movie for me, and it's putting me back in 2001 where people are like, "This is stupid, fucking
Yeah.
eating his brain. Like, what the fuck is this?" I agree. Compared to the ending of Silence of the Lambs, it's not really tense. It's more gross than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the whole thing whenever he's like yelling at Paul because Paul is being like rude the entire time. Like he calls her like Southern trash or whatever it
He's
was.
like, Paul, what did I say?
Or white trash.
Yeah. I like when he's like, Paul, if you can't keep up with the conversation, don't join in.
Then he starts like drooling.
Yeah, he's, you know, when you start pulling pieces of your brain out and eating it, like things are going bad.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know this, but your brain's not supposed to be out in the air.
No.
He even took like the film.
Yeah,
of
he
the
took
brain.
the sack that your brain
Stop
sits.
it. Oh my god.
And it's cool. Some of it is practical, some of it is like digital, like composite and whatnot. I like when he puts Paul in the kitchen and Paul's like clearly dead. He just throws a towel over his head. So, a couple different endings here. The ending in the movie, Clarice goes to attack Hannibal. He locks her hair in a refrigerator.
Breaks the door handle off so he can't, like, no one can open it.
Yes. How does she get out a scene later? Probably because that was tied to the original version, and we'll get into that in a second. So he basically is like trying to get her to like give up all her moral stuff and her standing with the FBI and admit that it's all a joke and just be more like him. And again, it's the Batman Joker thing where it's like, hey, I know these people are corrupt, but I still believe in good or whatever. And I love the whole like, did you ever think to tell me stop? If you love me, you stop. And she's like, nah. Like she won't. Like I think that's why he likes her. It's like she will not give in to anything.
None of that shit.
He has a moment of weakness, like most men do, and he goes to kiss her, and she.
Well, did he try to bite her first?
Yeah, he tried to scare her, but it didn't work.
Yeah.
So he goes to kiss her, and she handcuffs him.
No. He tried to bite her, and then didn't she say something, or he just said, "That's my girl"?
Yes.
And then they smooch. Well, he smooches her.
Yeah, he smooches her, but she
like,
handcuffs him, and he's like, well, I'm pressed for time because the police are on the way. So he has to make a decision. And he ends up cutting off his own hand because he doesn't want to hurt Clarice.
Why didn't he just cut off his thumb?
You know, they never actually show it. That might be something he might have done.
Okay, because I was going to say, like, he didn't need to chop off his whole hand. Could have just been his thumb, and he could have easily just went bloop. Also, those handcuffs were not on that tight.
Yeah.
I was looking at Clarice's, and I'm like, just slide it off her damn hand.
Yeah.
No,
but, you know, because he loves her, he decides to take out his own hand. And then she's outside suddenly with her hair fine. Because
it would have been cool if she at least, like, saw a knife on the side or whatever and then cut it, whatever, so she had, like, this short haircut like in the first one.
So the alternate version, she, like, attacks him. She somehow gets a gun, I think, and chases him out in the woods, and he just escapes. And then the rest of the movie plays out the same, except he doesn't have a bandage up hand. But yeah, the movie ends with him like on a plane going to Japan.
Yeah.
Probably Japan if you factor in the next book about his origin and whatnot. And this little kid's like, I hate the food here. And he's like, what's that? By the way, they don't let you bring your own food onto the plane. I don't even.
They do.
In 2001, I don't think they were letting you bring your own food onto the plane.
Yeah, I think it just needs to be sealed up.
You can.
What?
Yeah. For sure.
I didn't know that.
You can always bring your own food.
You can still do it.
Yeah.
Those sons of bitches have been scamming me for years. I thought you couldn't bring food.
Yeah, it needs to be like sealed or whatever. It can't be like, you know, giant liquidy things, whatever. But like, if you wanted to bring like a small thing of like if you wanted to bring a brownie with you or something like that, whatever. Like it has to be in a little container.
But this kid is literally looking at his brain sitting there in this fucking tray. And
he's like, oh, it looks good.
That looks good. I kind of want some. Like,
if anything, I would have been like, can I have some of the figs or something? Like, what the fuck?
And I love that he's like, what is it? He's like, if I tell you, I don't think you'll like it. So yeah, and then it ends with him getting away.
I've eaten sheep brains before, though.
Have you?
Yeah, that's a thing.
It is a thing in Italy.
In high school, we had to dissect something, and there was a picture of me holding the brains up like earrings.
Was it McDevitt?
Yeah.
When we did the mink?
Yeah.
I took out the intestines and I was jump roping with it.
Oh
and then my teacher was like, stop! And I'm like, all
right.
right.
Okay, third time's a charm. I'm fucking out.
wait, come back. Come back. If you don't come back, you're going to miss what happens in the book.
Oh, yeah, I really want to know, actually.
Okay, so.
It's probably better.
So.
This is going to make you leave.
So, how you know Clarice is a fictional character is because she really loved and had a good relationship with her father. So, and Hannibal knows this. So, in the book, when Hannibal brings her back to the house and everything, he has dug up the corpse of her father.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. Oh, and he even, I think, if memory serves right, I didn't have time to reread it. He even kind of wears like his uniform. And then he uses like psychoactive drugs and like hypnosis to like try to cure Clarice of her trauma of losing her father and basically be like, I'm your father now. And the reason Hannibal wants to do this is because he really loved his baby sister who was killed by the Nazis in World War II. I forget if it's in this book or definitely in the next book, you find out that they murdered his sister and fed it to him because they were running out of food.
Is that how he became a cannibal?
Yeah, it's stupid. That Thomas Harris only wrote the 4th book so he could write the screenplay for the 4th movie and make more money. And you could tell he was kind of just phoning it in.
Right.
It's like him in Japan and he's going on a whole murder thing. I feel bad. The actor in that 4th one just died in a skiing accident.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And he was in all these foreign films, but because in American stuff, they were like, he's in the upcoming Marvel show and was in Hannibal Rising. And it's like, oh, man. I'm like, that's like...
Not what you want to be.
Yeah, you don't want to be remembered as the other guy who played Hannibal, who's not Mads Mikkelsen. So he's doing that, and he's basically like, I want to replace my sister Misha, and she's like, I want a new dad. But then she realizes, she's like, hey, look, we're never going to get replacements. We should be here for each other, but be our own people. And she is bonding with him. She's like, yeah, you know what? I was screwed over by the FBI, and they're like out to get me like they were out to get you. They're the only person I relate to, really. And then she's like, hey, remember in Silence of the Lambs? And he's like, the book or the movie? And she goes, both. Remember when you asked that senator if she breastfed her daughter? And he's like, yeah, I remember saying that. Why are you bringing that up? She's like, I'll breastfeed you. And she puts a wine on her boob, and then Hannibal drinks it.
What?
Drinks it. Skip to 3 years later. Barney has
Did
a
he
lot.
bite her boob too?
Maybe Barney has a ton of money because he's been selling all this stuff, and I think Hannibal wired him money, or Margot wired him money. So he's in I think Buenos Aires or whatnot with some lady. He's like, let's go to the opera.
Shout out to Argentina.
Yeah. He's like, let's go to the opera, baby. I got all this money. And then while he's at the opera, he's like, oh, those two people look familiar. And he realizes it's Hannibal and Clarice because they're in love and in a relationship and they're hiding from the world together. And Barney's like, I think Hannibal sees Barney. He's like, I don't think he's going to kill me, but just be safe. We're going to leave. And then the book tells you, like, they're great. They have a great time. And they have, what is it? There's something. They have a lot of sex together. It goes into how they have sex. And so Hannibal and Clarice fall in love, and they're together, and they're fugitives together. And they're replacements for their dead sister and dead dad.
I have no words.
When my grandmother told me this, I literally was like, Clarice, what?
Everyone involved in the first movie who got to that page was like, what? No.
Like, what the?
No. Even like Jodie Foster was like, felt like, it's kind of mean. Everyone says it's a betrayal to the character, and it's like, well, yeah, but the guy who made her wrote it. Like, I feel like that's mean to Thomas Harris. Like, you might not agree with it, but it's like, you should be like, how do you mean I'm betraying my own character? But also, I think it's a really funny joke. He's like, there's no way they'll ever film.
Right, exactly. Like,
I'm surprised they didn't just do like just a different sequel to ignore it. There's plenty of famous books that have famous like follow-up books that they just ignore. We just talked about Psycho. Psycho 2 ignores the book Psycho 2. Like it's just so bizarre.
They just go off on their own thing.
So I love this movie. It's very flawed. It's very flawed, especially in the third act where they threw the book out and then they didn't really know what to do. I understand a lot of the criticism, but I don't think it deserves all of the hate. What do you think, Johanna?
I enjoy it. Like, it's not the greatest thing in the world, but like, I still watch it.
Yeah, they definitely.
You should watch the show. I think you would really like the show.
Hannibal, not Clarice.
Yeah. Right.
Clarice is bad.
No. And then because of this movie being so fucking divisive, but everyone was really hyped, they did Red Dragon. Because
I do like Red Dragon.
No one remembers Manhunter was a movie, so they're like, well, let's just do it again with all the actors people remember. They tried to pass off Anthony Hopkins being 10 years younger. Didn't work. But that's a much safer movie, and it was more accurate to the book. But yeah, a lot of people are real divisive, and you did not like it.
I fucking hated it. I'm sorry. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. It was my first time watching it. But I thought the acting was horrible. I thought that there were just too many flaws. Nothing made sense. And I fucking hate Gary Oldman.
I can't believe you hate Gary Oldman so much. My co-star. He was a good commissioner. Can I get it? He was a good commissioner, Gordon. That's Batman.
No, I know. Okay. I know exactly.
I think he was better as Sirius Black.
Was he just like the book?
No, he wasn't.
It's fucking Harry Potter. Anyway, well, how did you appreciate all the Italian stuff in it? Was Italy well represented?
No, actually, it was very fucking stereotypical. So every time that they were in Italy, they played fucking like classical music. And I'm like, why? And this is why people have the wrong stereotype ideas about Italy because of movies like this.
I blame Tony.
Me too.
What did I do? I've never even been to Italy.
No, but look what you're doing.
I'm a proud
You're playing
Italian,
with the
but I don't want to hang out with real Italians.
Hey, Tony. See how I'm holding the knife?
No, stop
See
it.
how I'm holding
no,
the knife?
you don't know how to hold
You
a
see
knife.
how I'm holding the knife?
No, we have a whole clip. I literally clipped that from Lake Placid. And there's a video right now. There's 2 clips on the clip channel, everyone. There's proper knife technique, which is Johanna not knowing how to stab. And then there's girl directions, which is about me and Trisha talking about women giving directions.
Do you know, speaking of directional stuff, that he thinks Google Drive is sometimes Google Maps because he thinks Google Drive because you drive.
So whenever I'm about to drive somewhere, I'm like, let me pull up the map, and then I click Google Drive instead of Google Maps. I do it every time.
You're done. That's it.
But he wants to talk about women not knowing directions.
Right, exactly.
Google
So
Drive.
anyway,
Told you I was going to bring that up.
So anyway, Joanna has a doctor's appointment in like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So
you gotta go get your plastic surgery fixed.
No, I was fighting a cannibal.
Oh yeah.
Stop, just lie with me. You know what? You were so nice and Johanna corrupted you. You're both off the show. You're both off the show.
Yeah, okay.
Flying Mint back out. I'm gonna hang out with Mint. Oh, any Dick Show fans of the Dick Show, I'm sure a percentage of our audience love the Dick Show. I will be at Dick Show Road Rage Los Angeles 2, March 5th, I think. I will be there. I'll probably wear this. I'll be disavowing everyone live now that I'm famous and they're all problematic. I'm going to disavow them all. And Mint Salad will be there.
Says you'll be there from the 4th to the 6th. I don't know when the actual thing
The
is.
5th is the actual night of the show, so I will be there. Check that out.
I'll be in Disney World.
I wasn't invited.
You know, I don't think you would really get along with the Dick Show crowd, so I'm sparing you.
I mean, I like dicks, so Richard.
No.
I mean, guys named Richard.
All right.
So on that note, Trisha, where can we find you?
At Trisha's Italy on all social media. Go follow me. Italian culture lessons, language, everything, all that good stuff.
Yes, yes. Where can we follow you?
Not Castzilla.
It'll come back one day.
Stuff like hearts, Twitter.
And look, if you are willing to give $50 for nudes, my DMs are open. I keep telling you, my DMs are open.
No one wants to see your boobs.
Get those requests over to Tony.
Yes, just forward them to me.
I'm just gonna start forwarding and be like,
Here you go.
no, I'm just gonna ask for you to take pictures of your chest, and then I'm gonna send it to other people and be like, yeah, that's exactly what I look like. I'm
The money up front, though.
Money up front.
I'm so hairy.
Anyway,
my boobs also shrunk a lot.
we will be back at some point. Me and Johanna. I don't know if Trisha wants to follow up on this series.
No, not this series.
We'll be back with Red Dragon.
Red Dragon's very good.
I think we're gonna review Red Dragon.
Was it Ray Fiennes, right?
Yeah, Red Dragon has an anniversary this year, so we'll probably do it closer to that.
Okay.
And I think when we do that on Patreon, we're gonna do a bonus of Manhunter because they're basically the same movie.
Yeah.
Yes, and check out our review of Opera on Patreon, which just steals the
I don't
end of Red
remember
Dragon.
what I talked about, but okay.
About the killer and the opera. and
Yeah. Was
they use crows to identify him at the end. It was really stupid.
Terrible.
So yeah, check that out. And buongiorno? No. Ciao.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Buona giornata.
Gorlami. Okay, that's it. Goodbye.
My God.
I have so many things I want to talk about. I'm like gonna get off track here.
This is the case of a game that was far more popular in Japan than it was in the United States.
They never went to Mordor. What are you talking about?
It's kind of weird.
But there's real detail. There's like wiring underneath.
You know, they're one and done. That's it. Sold
Yeah.
out. So they're super hard to come by.
You heard him, guys. Bring it back. Here we go again. Round two.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.
Talking about tapes.